13 flat earth clues into his mind at once. So he woke up a flat earther. And what he didn't do is describe, what particular thing convinced him. And that's why I kind of question it. I'm like, show me your credentials. Who gave you your flat stripes? Where are your bona fides? How do we know that this guy is not just, I don't know, flat pilling for money? So we're going to find out today. I'm going to see if he's not, available on Skype or something. I thought I had his number, but apparently not. So let me go ahead and put a notice. So we're live right now on YouTube and DLive and everywhere else. I have a few things I want to go over. And of course, Mad Mike Hughes is going live tonight, so I'm going to call in at his 15-minute mark. But really quick, my comments on Max Egan. Basically, he said, starting off, when you tell the truth, you piss everyone off, which is a Bill Hicks quote. So that's, I think, something of a sign. He says weather's controlled, parasites control the world, and these would be archons. War is real, Earth is enclosed, there is a dome. Hyperborea is where the whites came from. They were chased out by an ice age, and they arrived here for this Atlantean age, which will end in ice. Tartaria, check. Mud flood, check. Mud flood university, check. And that would be the one where mountains are the bodies of giants, and the earth as we know it is just on a dead giant. Everything is basically small compared to what it used to be. No forests on flat earth, check. Mountains are actually giant trees, or the tree stumps of giant trees. And yet tree stumps aren't considered to be miniature mountains. You can figure that out. The one thing I do agree with him on is he said Alex Jones is a biological robot. I'm kind of with him on that one. And he finished with quoting Rush Limbaugh saying, "No one gets out of here alive." Jim Morrison, aka Rush Limbaugh. Again, he quoted Bill Hicks, Jim Morrison, death faker, gatekeeper. One agitprop right wing, one agitprop conspiracy. So this is Max. He says, you got to look for the signs along the way, meaning if you want the truth. And the very next second, he flashes up his hands in a Masonic gesture, which is the hailing sign of distress, which basically means he needs help. This is a cry for help. And a number of people have noted that there's a swastika on his hand. So maybe he's trying to associate Flat Earth with Hitler. I don't know. Maybe he has a different interpretation for it. I'm not really sure about that. All I know is it's called the hailing sign of distress. And if we're going to talk about Illuminati signs, we have to recognize the ones that are being thrown by the people right in front of us. The grand hailing sign of distress. And basically, this is meant for signaling that you're in trouble. So what is Max Egan signaling, and who is he signaling to? Who's going to pick that up? Are there any Masons who can call in? Let us know if they have to go, if you're obligated to go give the guy a hand. I like his work though, and I like the fact that he's flat and that he's muddy. Mud flood earthers are some of my favorite people, the best people on earth. So we started off today talking about this particular individual. This is the guy in question. This is the guy that we are saying might actually be Alex Jones in a fat suit. Not that he needed a whole lot there, mostly age. They changed his age. They added years. This picture's a little bit blurry, but he was on Jimmy Kimmel. So I'm asking, well, what's so out of the ordinary for that? We are talking about the same conference that was hosted by and is still hosted by Roland Reddy. If you don't know who Roland Reddy is, you're about to find out, because Roland Reddy is going to be on with Russian vids. Here is our Roland Reddy character. I'll give you a link below if you want this post so you can subscribe, and also so you can hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Russian Vids is going to speak with Rick Hummer. Rick Hummer is a conference organizer. He's also a deepfake, and they denied this. They hated me for it. The reason why Glowbusters and Jaren won't say my name, or Karen or the rest, is because we're the ones who exposed this right after it went down. We said, hey, that goofball who went on a viral video with Neil Armstrong to make us look dumb and was trying to imitate Mad Mike, playing this dumb redneck rocket scientist gig, it turns out that that's the conference organizer himself, wearing buck teeth, speaking in a dumb accent. So this guy was playing like Jake Bird. You get it? So here you have Rick Hummer is going on a podcast with Russian Vids to talk about Jake Bird, who he apologized for. Hummer was holding the mic for Jake Bird so he could make fun of Mark Sargent. He's in on it. And so is Russian Vids. I mean, what a scumbag. Russian Vids is a liar. Well, by liar, I mean he's a deceiver. He's pretending to be somebody he's not. He's working with all these shills. He's a total hypocrite. He called Eric Dubay a phony for never meeting anybody in public, but we've never met him in public. So what do you call that? A deceiver. Like Russian Vids, you don't ever come out in public. Why should we trust you? You said we shouldn't trust Eric Dubay because he never comes out in public. Now, I don't trust Eric Dubay. I trust the content that he reads, or a lot of it, but I don't trust him because he pretends to be Jay DeCaspi and he gets into mainstream media magazines like Forbes. So here you go, Russian Vids podcast with special guest Rick Hummer. I'm going to put a link in the chat. I think you all should go there and make Russian Vids mentioned Rollin' Ready, because they don't want to talk about Rollin' Ready because this is one of the big secrets, the deep fakery. And it's thick. This is their standard operating procedure. Take a look at this. This is a profile view of Alex and the guy that we're saying is Alex in a skin suit, in a bodysuit, in a costume, pulling a Rollin' Ready. What do you think of that? Same build, same shoulder, same profile. I hear it in the voice, which we will get to. I'm not specifically doing this to debunk this. Crazy Flat Lady says, at least Eric Dubay has movies of him doing his martial arts with his women. Yeah, I never got into the Tai Chi. Now, we're talking about a mask that covers the entire head and the neck and goes down the body. It's the whole thing. Does that look like Alex Jones with a goofy mask? Well, I can say the eyes are very recessed. So I did some overlays, and the lines all match up. The proportions match up, even the crease in the brow, even the mouth. Many, many similarities, even the hairline of the beard, which we got to. We got to that earlier. So today, I was going through Bill Hicks, excuse me. Today I was going through some history on Bill Hicks. I'm like, well, there's got to be somewhere here where he's just played that character before. So I've been going through kind of a retrospective. Here's one.
Hello, everybody. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube have openly said they're going to give fair time to Southern Poverty Law Center.
He's always clowning around, always putting on costumes. Nothing new here. There are other times where he plays a mentally incapacitated person. So my point is, a voice actor who calls himself the man of 1,000 voices could easily have pulled off that ridiculous act. And look, this is how the media does its work. They put people in front of the cameras who they know are going to make them look crazy or terrible or unappealing. This was a cover shot for a Vice magazine piece where they introduced Rollin' Ready as the guy that was going to mainstream Flat Earth. Again, this guy. And what he did was he had a stick cam and he kept bumping into walls, acting the fool. They called us rogue. They said, this was Vice magazine described us as a rogue faction because we think this is a hit piece to make us look dumb. So you're saying this isn't a hit piece to make us look dumb, where he acts like a double-digit IQ simpleton getting mocked on TV by Neil deGrasse Tyson, redneck rocket scientist? He had never been around a rocket in his entire life. The only rocket he had ever seen was Mad Mike's rocket, and that's because we crashed through the wall and broke into the conference and made them all cry. So they called the cops on us so we wouldn't do it again. But they stole his act. We couldn't let him get away with it. Redneck rocket scientist. Give me a break. He's never even seen a damn rocket. It was meant to steal SEO, search results. It was meant to sabotage. And so is Alex. So I'm not 1,000%. I'm like 999% sure that Alex Jones is deep faking as that guy with the hat. I think it's all part of the same operation. I mean, what do you all think? Does anybody here not think that's the case? And we'll go through these pictures. I want to really make my case carefully. Is that you, Alex, in a fat suit? So here's a profile shot, and then I'm going to tune into Mad Mike Hughes. He's live right now, and I kind of want to run this by him. Maybe I shouldn't run it by him. You know what? I'm not sure what he's talking about tonight, but I do think he might find this interesting. I do want to talk about Max Egan with him because he's a fan of Max Egan. So take a look at this. Not too far off. And what we're saying is this is a mask like you would see in any of these movies, a nose prosthetic or the whole head mask. It's a deep fake. And I'm not presenting you with a lot of the technology right now that they use. I'm not showing you the hyper realistic silicone masks that the CIA don't want you to know about. But you must know this. The masks that we're talking about are not only foolproof if you don't know what you're looking for, but two, the masks that we're talking about were more or less a state secret until last year. Okay, let's go ahead and one more thing I want to look at here. Yeah, this was interesting. Maybe I should go through it. No, I'll just tell you what happened. So, Brian Stavely runs the Mandela Effect by Crow 777777777, and Crow said that it's just a trick. It's more than likely a trick, and he doesn't have time for it. You know, he said that if you're at a magic show and a white tiger flies across the stage, some people will say it's a real tiger and it's magic. Other people will say cool trick. Others will say, man, I don't have time for this bullshit. And he says he doesn't have time for tricks. It's that simple. Now, he wasn't called a heretic. He wasn't called a denier. He wasn't called a hater. He wasn't called a satanic shill working for Ed McMahon. No, he didn't get any of that rough treatment that we got for not believing in the Mandoozle effect. So, yes, Brian tried to Mandoozle Crow 77777 and it didn't work. So I can't wait for this. Rolling ready to do damage control for Jake Bird. That's going to be hilarious. Thirst for Truth says TFR and Genesis Communications sleep in the same bed. Yeah, pretty much. Hand in glove, no doubt. Okay, so let me go ahead and tune into Mad Mike Hughes. I know he was, there we go. So he's over there at ferlive.com. He's been doing this weekly. And I'm going to call in here in a moment. I think the phone's going to be open for everyone. He's in a place that really doesn't get a great connection. So hopefully he can take calls from other people. If his phones won't open, I'll call in. So let's take a listen. Again, ferlive.com. It says, join stuntman Daredevil Mad Mike Hughes on his new radio show.
And I wanted to find out who they were, or at least get a good start on them. And then I thought, I was pissed because I wasn't invited initially. And this is after I made all this news and all the stuff. We had a contract working for the TV show, and we had to bully our way into the thing. So this should be proof enough to anyone that some of these major channels that's promoting the flat Earth is shields. They're paid. They are not who they say they are. And like I said before, look these people up and what they've done. I mean, this new guy that came up said, Brian Slavely, where the hell did this guy come from? It's kind of like Karen B. I mean, and Karen B's talking about rockets and whatever. I mean, this is mind-boggling where these people come from. So, I'm tired of them, okay? They all got to go away. If you want to do your research, that's fine. If you want to believe in flat Earth, that's fine. But as far as you having a network or channel or show, I don't know. There's a bunch of these people I want to kick to the curb, and that's kind of my job, I think. So was IPS checked back in? Okay.
Yes, twice, but for
Yeah,
some
he's going
reason
to.
the call keeps dropping. Maybe you could call him on your cell phone to kind of expedite.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Can I listen to
What
him on these?
what happens is when someone else tries to call in, I think we might have two different people trying to call in at the same time,
I'm going to try again right now.
and they're
Yeah, maybe so.
jostling. But like I
Yeah.
said, it's an experimental system.
Okay,
Welcome to Flat.
okay, there we go. I get through.
Did you say something?
Okay, am
Please
I,
use your keypad to direct your call. Press 1 for our home office. Press 2 to talk with the live DJ. Connecting to the home office.
okay, here we go. I think I'm through. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get
Hello,
through.
Matthew.
Yeah, am I getting through to Flat Earth Radio?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Tim with Infinite Plane Society. Are you patching me through? Are you the engineer tonight?
No, this is the office. No, this is the office.
Oh, I've been calling the wrong number. Okay, so what number should I be calling?
Um, it's let's see. I
That's okay. You know what? I can text him for it.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I just got the one on the top of the screen. So the number that you have is the 652-2000. How are things going over there at the Flat Earth Media Group, by the way?
Good, good. Not too bad. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, just so you know, I'm live right now. What I'm doing, I'm calling into Mike's show, and that's why I was trying to get through. And
Oh,
so I'm going to try again here in just a moment. And so for everyone listening, what is the name of your show, Russ?
just I don't really have a show right now. I just host the station and the media group,
Oh,
the
cool.
websites. So
Coolness, coolness. Well, anyway,
I
it looks
don't-
really good. I'll just have to call back on the other number.
yeah. Call back on the number that it should go straight either to Rick or to Mike
Cool.
on
All right.
when his show comes up.
Alrighty. All right. Thanks again. See ya. Okay, so that's Russ with FER Live. Yeah, we're almost at 1,000 followers here on D Live. Short delay here. I'm trying to get through to the program. Maybe somebody in the chat will have the number for me. So we're going to be talking to Mad Mike Hughes. I'm going to find out what the call-in number is really quick. It's 8:17 p.m. Okay, great. So I'm only a couple minutes late. I was going to call in at 6:15. I see we have people from Patreon. I'm sorry, Twitch. I just sent out a notice to Patreon. Strawberry Blind, what's up? Paul Curran says concave Earth reality. Hey, with this concave Earth reality thing, if you don't mind, could you explain to me how come the sun doesn't set at sunrise and rise at sunset? Because if it's concave, if you're saying on the inside of a ball, then the sun should be dropping into view. And then it should be, you know what I mean? Like, so it's actually setting. And then it would go over your head, so it would drop, then it would apparently rise. And then it would set to your view, and then it would go up and away. Instead of going over the hump, or whatever they're saying that it does. So how does that work in your concave Earth? And I guess you could prove that one if you started digging down 2 holes, and at some point if they were to diverge. Space Bubble said they would never appear to set in a concave Earth. Well, that's assuming that light goes an infinite distance. I mean, maybe these don't have that long of a reach. Okay, so I'm going to try again to call into the stream. The engineer didn't have the number, oddly enough. If anybody wants to Google it for me, my hands are kind of tied. Look up the number for Flat Earth Radio. Dill Gaff said you just pushed the wrong exit. Oh, the wrong extension. I might have. I'm not sure. Not sure. Now, Crow 777's explanation for the Mandela effect is that it's most likely a trick and he hasn't really looked into it. Well, I would recommend that he read Mendoozled because it really does show that what you're dealing with is what's called the interrogator bias. It's called the interrogator bias. And he actually said that it goes against common sense. And his first response when it comes to any of these things is to eliminate the nonsense, to find out what the trick is, not to assume that the magic is real. And I would say that's the case with everything on the world stage. And the thing is, people want to analyze the world stage critically, and thanks for the number, on the one hand, but then at the same time, they want to indulge in, selectively in metaphysical explanations for things. Okay, so I'm going to try calling in again.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio.
Let's see if this one gets us through. I might be in. It's a silence right now. Just a moment.
Connecting to the home office.
Ask about the theory about the Van Allen belt being the firmament. Right.
Hello.
Hey, this is Tim with the Infinite Plane Radio. Am I through?
Yeah. Yep. You're talking to Russ.
Again. Okay, I'm sorry. Someone in the chat gave me the wrong number. I asked somebody to Google it. Okay, sorry about that, Russ. Have a great night. Okay, that was the number we already called. Can somebody try to find a secondary number? Maybe I should suggest that he put the number on the front of the website. I mean, isn't that where people go? Or should I be looking on another website? Like info. I mean, how am I supposed to find the number? This is a little awkward. I'll get back to that momentarily. Does anybody have an explanation for... Somebody said dial 1. Why don't you dial 1? And if you get through, give me a thumbs up. I'm not going to do any more experiments. I do have a question here. Why did Brian... This is the thing. I'm not looking to start anything. I'm not even interested in the Mendoozled. But it does appear that Brian Stavely subscribed to me, and I have evidence here. Here are the receipts. On Sunday, January 4th, at 4:07 p.m., Brian Stavely subscribed to me. Now, I'm not subscribed to him. I didn't have any intention of ever subscribing to him. So if he wants to, run into other people's fists, that's on him. But I'm just saying, I'm not reaching out to this guy. I'm not interested in this Ed McMahon conspiracy. It's not my thing. I don't even understand it. Like, where are the people with the big checks? Okay, I got the number now. Excellent. We were only off by... Jesus. Sorry about that. Sorry if you're wearing headphones in advance. I mean, it's a little late now. Sorry. Damn. All right, let's see. 619-900-2079. All right, so it looks like the powers that be don't want that call to happen right now. I'm not sure what they're talking about. We can listen in, and I'll try again in a bit. Sorry about that one. Did anybody else call in? Okay, so Osher says, did you call in? We have somebody actually verified. Number 2 is for the DJ. A couple of people have said, we think you need to press 2. Has anybody actually done the experiment, though? That's what I want to know. Has anybody called in and pressed the 2? What's behind door number 2? Because I'm not going to have my eardrums pierced like that again. Remrek says, even if it's just a magic trick, they're still there. Here's a profile shot. Just want to show you something. I mean, more than likely the whole thing is definitely a wig, including the ear, but I mean, it's a big hood. But it is noteworthy that this character we're suggesting might be Alex Jones has obviously dyed his hair. He's got a white beard, stark white, aged man, but then his hair is just really bright red. Totally dyed in. So it makes me think this is another wig. I see a commenter over here. Will Rick be wearing his buck teeth and bumping into doors? I wonder how Rick can defend Roland Reddy in the face of Jake Bird. Like, who's derpier, Jake Bird or Roland Reddy? Like, I don't know. The movie in which the people were underground is called Orbiter 9. Make sure you have your closed captioning on. Mousegate continues. I am being followed by a SpaceX employee who's directly connected to Elon Musk. And I think it's in response to Mousegate. Yeah, exactly. The dyed hair seems strange for a guy that doesn't seem to care about his physical appearances. That was my take on it. I'm like, you have this guy who's, well, I mean, whatever you want to think. I mean, I think it's a character, but ostensibly the guy has not given a damn about his diet or his looks or his health to any degree. But his hair on the top of his head is dyed, and it's still gray on the sides. Again, I also think that the body posture, the width of the shoulders compared to the size of the head, even the amount of musculature above the gut, to me, it looks like this is Alex Jones in a costume. Belligerent Bear says, what is this channel about? Well, right now, what are we talking about? Talking about SpaceX's security on Twitter. The guy is RX Cole, security engineer. I actually sent them a message. I said, hey, you can't even maintain adequate pest control measures. How are you a security engineer? And I sent him a link to the mouse. One of the things we're talking about is Mousegate. And yeah, there are mice with ears as big as the ones that we've seen crawling all over the SpaceX rockets. Okay, she's on hold. So that number did work then. Okay, great. Thank you. So we actually do have a way in. It was that first number then. Can somebody repost the first number? How come I get Russ? How come I keep getting Russell? I'm trying to get through and I keep getting this guy and he acts like I woke him up. Like he doesn't sound like he's even out of bed. I don't want to call him for like the third time. I'm going to try though. I'm going to press 2.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio. Please press 1 to reach our home.
Here we go. Cross your beaks. Remrek says there are wizards amongst us. Oh,
Welcome
yeah.
to Flat Earth Radio. Please wait until someone is ready to assist you.
Thank you. Let me see if I can opt out of the hold music. Okay, I kind of muted it. I'll periodically check in and out. I'm not going to put you through bad hold music. Memento says Owen likes... What kind of gravy is that? Alright, here we go. I think I'm in. anybody here listen today to anybody on the right talking about how the left wing wants to put everybody in re-education camps? Like, what a baseless panic. Like, that's what they call public schools. It's been decades. They already succeeded. What do they mean going to put you in? I already went through
Fasted
one.
and yeah, well, the video speaks for itself. But I actually was walking that off. I thought I'm going to be able to walk away from this, and then 15 minutes later, I collapse in my friend's motorhome and I don't move for 3 days.
Now, I remember you had pieces of that parachute, which was shredded. Do you still have any parts of the parachute available?
Okay, so did they go offline and they're having to play something? That's what it looks like. Not a problem. I guess we could listen in for just a moment, but I wanted to just get through a couple more things really quick. Well, let's go ahead and listen in just for a moment. So someone asked what we were talking about. Yeah, we're talking about Mousegate. If you don't know about Mousegate, it's a big deal, and it might bring down SpaceX, and it's really looking bad for NASA as well. Basically, Elon Musk got caught red-handed. Well, not he didn't get caught red-handed, but they got caught. Somebody put a mouse on one of his rockets. And so it's supposed to be in space, but you actually see a mouse, like a large mouse. So they're trying to figure out, was this a CGI mouse put there by an employee as a joke, or was it a real mouse? And so this has got them all going into damage control mode. And now they actually have someone from their security, whatever, security designer, whatever that means. He says he does security for Starlink satellites. It's like, man, you got to go guard the Falcon 9. Rats are taking over. Anyway, we exposed it. They're trying to hide it. And then we're also talking about this other thing, which is maybe even bigger. Like, really, this could be a huge story if it gets out. Alex Jones wearing a silicone mask, basically an old man costume, something straight out of Hollywood, and acting the fool on Jimmy Kimmel, playing the role of a flat earther. Like, this is huge. And the people I know who've looked into this are pretty much convinced. I'm convinced. Well, I'm 999% convinced. Very close. I'm not sure what else it would take. I mean, I'm considering all things. I'm even seeing it in the hand, so I'll continue to analyze it. And he does do character voices. That's something you cannot overlook. I mean, you really shouldn't overlook that. Okay, let's see what's going on. Is anybody on ferlive.com? Got 101 terrorists watching. Nathan Thompson's going on Russian Vids tonight. Is he staying at Russian Vids' house? That seems to be his pattern. He's always streaming from somebody's couch or somebody's shower. At least he's being productive. You know, at least he's not out kicking some poor single mother's door down and frightening the kid. You know, a healthy diversion from that. So good job, Nathan Thompson. Good job not trying to be a tough guy and beat anybody up tonight. You're not thugging. You're not almost getting yourself shot, which is what would happen. You kick down a door where there's a single mom and she's got a toddler. The only reason he left is a little kid said, "Stop messing with my mom." And I think he realized it, but it's like, man, you're going to be on Troll versus Trolls. JT says CGI ice masquerading as mouse. Whatever it is, okay, the best possible explanation is they didn't know it was there and it's an actual mouse. But then it's in space, that makes it problematic. So it looks like sabotage or a joke. And what are we really looking at? And what do they have to explain away? You know what they have to explain away is ice in the shape of a mouse at Mach 8, a moving ice sculpture of randomly assembled debris forming into the shape of a mouse and walking laps around a rocket. Not once, but twice. And the second time it comes back, it looks and it goes back into its little cubby, and its ears stay in the same position relative to the head. So it's a freaking miracle. RV is burying himself with Duck Lips Thompson. Yes. Now, Duck Lips Thompson, his trout pout you're referring to, we're not talking about on his face. He was on this video and he was showing off his abs, saying, because I have shredded abs, your arguments are null. And he was talking to Fight the Flat Earth and McToons and a few other, heavy set, oblate defenders of the globe, calling them fat, saying, hey, this invalidates your arguments, which it doesn't. So if you're oblate, it doesn't take away. It's just ad hominem. Well, anyway, he's showing off his abs and he's flexing, and we're like, okay, what's the big deal here? He's crunching down, and his belly button actually formed like a trout pout. It was just the weirdest picture. Like, he's got trout pout belly button, and he's commenting on other people's appearances. Okay, I think I'm still on hold at Flat Earth Radio. Is there anybody else? Looking through your comments, see if I've missed anything. So for RV to be associating with Roland Reddy and Nathan Thompson, and Nathan Thompson is hanging out with Flat Earth Millionaire, who is totally a clown. And I'll show you what I mean. I talked about this earlier today. So Flat Earth Millionaire is offering $200,000 for proof of a globe. And here he is hanging out with Nathan Thompson. Now the thing is, okay, both of these guys are anti-Jew. Now, very vocal about it. They both ranted about Jews and grapplers at the conference. But these two guys are sitting here talking about how if you can prove a globe, he'll give you $200,000. And I'm saying this is a phony thing. It's totally phony. Like, how does that even work out? Because he's not going to accept the evidence, the only evidence that they can cite. So it's kind of a rigged game. It's like saying I have $11 billion to give you if you can prove Bigfoot doesn't exist. Like, try to prove a negative. It's the same exact thing Side Thorn journalist did when he said, I'll give you $100,000 to prove that somebody actually died at one of these shootings. How about you drop $100,000 into encouraging a whistleblower? Or this guy. $200,000 could send somebody to the South Pole, and then some. But no, you're going to party it up with Nathan Thompson? Xbox says those guys look like blank buddies. No, I just think that they're probably agents, and their job is, of course, to make this all look crazy. Alex Jones in a fat suit, Rick Hummer in a yokel outfit. I mean, this stuff is absurd. Like, we know what they're doing. Also, if you are a subscriber to my blog, you can get the download link to NASA and the Cult of the Obelisk. We've aired it for the last couple of days. Has everybody seen it? Oh, commenting on Alex Jones's beard here, he says it looks gluey. Well, are you talking about the Alex Jones's beard, or are you talking about Nathan Thompson's beard? If you're seeing that glue, that's because it's an inhalant. He just didn't wipe it off. He didn't actually glue that on. That's an actual beard. But you may have a point. The hairline seems a little off. But I'm not an expert. Okay, I think we got something going on here. Okay, so let me see if I can call in on Mike's show right now. Let's see if we got anything going on. I've been on hold this whole time. Is that Tim Truth on? Right, perfect. Even better. Let's go ahead and listen in. If you don't know Tim Truth, he's the one who really got a lot of us, me especially,
we're supposed to be an example.
To YouTube exit.
And I know my language is kind of coarse at times, but sometimes that's the way you can express, I guess, the true meaning or true feelings of something. But yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for calling in. And for the most part, I just want the best for people. But when people try to sabotage what I've done, ignore, that doesn't sit too well with me. But yeah, thank you, and call back next week, okay?
Yeah, just one last thing. I just want to say that we come up through schooling and they teach us. They kind of beat the creativity out of us and our ambitions. So it's great to see people like you lead the way and show the things that people didn't even consider are possible. So I think that that's the best way to uplift humanity is to do what you're doing and lead by example. So keep up the great work, man. We're all cheering for you, especially with that, what's it called, the Raccoon launch. That sounds incredible. So we'll all be staying.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call in right now. That's Tim Truth. Okay, 1 second. Crazy Flat Lady says, in the midst of a crisis in Australia, Max Egan is garnering some sort of support. Yeah, he was talking about Australia, and now he's gone flat, which I think is an interesting topic. And
Hello?
there we go. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I tried to get through earlier. I wasn't able to get through.
On that number?
Yeah, I kept getting
Okay.
Russ, but regardless, we're in now.
Let's-
And
Okay. Yeah, I got to start getting set up here, what time is it now?
actually,
It's only
no.
6.
Oh, here's what it is. Okay, this is so funny. You might actually. Okay, so basically, someone said that you're already on. Because
No.
I heard Tim Truth and I tuned in. It's a pre-record. It's from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm just now setting up.
Okay, cool. Very good. Well, then I'm going to text you a couple of things, couple of links. You heard about Max Egan, right?
Yes, because I think I text that to you.
Yeah, you sent it to me like right after I had watched it. So we got Max Egan. That's kind of interesting. I actually think I might be able to get a hold of him. So I wasn't sure if you want to.
So, have you heard him? Yeah, you heard about American Idiot? He's here with me. I've just been talking to him. He does that Las Vegas investigation. He's went in hiding, and they're getting released a documentary about it in March.
Oh, I remember you were trying to look up that guy last year, American Idiot. Okay, very
So,
cool.
yeah, he's just sitting here. In fact, he's in hiding here in Lucerne Valley.
Oh, right on.
But, yeah, it's kind of weird. But, yeah, let me, I got the thing plugged in.
Oh yeah, you got
and
20.
let me go take a piss, and
Yeah,
if you want
man.
to give me a call back at 15 after, okay?
Yeah, you got 20 minutes. All right, cool. Talk to you later.
Okay.
All right, well that explains why Russ was so confused. Okay, so Russ was like, "Yeah, you got to call in when he's live," and I was like, "Don't you know?" Man, that makes sense. Now it makes sense. I'm like, okay, that was just it didn't make any. I was kind of confused for a moment there. I was like, well, the engineer's like not aware. Allergic to Bullshit says apparently cats are making the worldwide bushfire crisis worse by sticking around to kill the survivors. Cats, as in like wildcats? I did see some article about wombats, and they said that wombats were, I think they said, rounding up animals and pulling them into their areas. See, that's why I'm sorry about those calls earlier. I had these failed phone calls I was trying to get through. And no, it's a different time zone thing. I'm on FE time. Apparently he's on Eastern time or whatever, but it's all good. We're ahead. We're early. Yep. Okay, so does anybody have the timestamp on this? I want to hear the attempted mandoozling of the coffee boofer. Does anybody have the timestamp? It's not that one. We're looking for the one that just came out. Here it is. No. I'm looking for the video that has Stavely and Crow 777. Post Globe says Mandela got the clocks. What happened to the people who won the checks? I have a question for the effectees. So all the people that won the checks, or that were delivered checks by Ed McMahon, what happened to them? Okay, take a look at this. I see what you mean about the beard being gluey. Okay, at 154. Okay, we'll look at that as well. Yeah, that glue, that face looks glued on. I mean, we've got to get to the bottom of this. And we are going to get to the bottom of it. So right now we're going to listen to At 155 or 154.43. Got it. I got the timestamp. And they're going to talk about the Mandela effect, and you're just going to hear Crow 777's take on it. And notice how he doesn't get treated like an enemy. Which is how it should be. We should be allowed to politely disagree with people. I'm going to go ahead and put it at playback speed 1.25.
I had done a few audios that I did and just put them on YouTube. And he was on my show. And this channel, what I primarily talk about, I talk about a lot of things, but my big thing is the Mandela effect. And I wanted to know what your thoughts were on that. Have you researched it at all? Because I have been made aware of some of the things that you said that are Mandela effects. Like one of your listeners told me that you talked about the lion and the lamb, or maybe it was on your site when that's not in the Bible anymore as it was.
Here's my problem, man. I usually avoid the Mandela effect because it violates my primary rule of common sense. But when I've gone at it, I have seen things like the lion lamb. There's been other things that hit me the same way as everyone. Well, that can't be. Something magically changed. That's what your human side wants to say. But I won't go there. To me, I will always look first for the trick. How was this trick done? How was it queued up? And I always liken it to Vegas. You go to Vegas and the magic show, the white lion flies across the stage, and there's three types of people. The first person says, "Oh my God, I just saw magic." The second person says, "Well, that was clever. I wonder how they did it." And the third person says, that's a put up. I'm out of here. These kinds of ideas. But we've come to a time when so many of us are the first group. Oh my God, there's something magical. And there's danger in this because it gives people with power too much control. It's like science.
So he's saying it gives people with power, too much control. And this has been one of my criticisms of it. Here we are saying that nukes are fake, it's nothing to fear. But now, all of a sudden, we have to fear what? That they have a button at the CERN facility that they can change reality with the click of a button. So let's continue on.
Science is constantly trying to convince us it can do all these magical things it cannot. There is no magical red button that can destroy this place from a supposed nuclear weapon, provably so. And yet, so many people in this world have been convinced that this magical power exists. Wait a minute. This is a creation, presumably from a creator, and you're telling me the ants that live down here, I shouldn't call us ants, the human beings have enough power to undo all that? It's even from a spiritual observation, it's not feasible. But to get back to the Mandela effect, we have basically a week at a time to do a show. Almost everything we do is based on a lifetime of research that I've done. So I'm adding to things I've already looked at. The Mandela effect takes a lot of time because from my point of view, I think we just need to figure out how the tiger's flying across the stage, to be blunt about it.
To be blunt about it, we got to figure out how the tiger is flying across the stage. Well, I've already figured that out. I've already done your homework for you, Crow 777. It is Mandoozled, the Mandela effect debunked. And you could really just get away with the very first sentence on the description that I didn't even write. Hitchens' razor. What can be asserted without evidence can be dismissed without evidence. I mean, that's all you really need. Lean Dion says, is Crow Mandela'd? No, actually Crow's not, which surprised me. I thought he'd be open to it. He's open to Starbucks coffee in his you-know-what, and heartily endorsed that. So I'm surprised that he turned down the Mandela.
Okay. If you ever are interested in it and you do want to talk about it, I'd be...
Oh, I got to put that on regular speed. I want to analyze that little... Okay.
Things I've already looked at, the Mandela effect takes a lot of time because from my point of view, I think we just need to figure out how the tiger's...
Okay, get ready. I think we just got to figure out how the tiger's flying across the room. And you can hear an okay. And I didn't get that okay. I got a, you're the devil, I hate penguins. And rumor has it he went to a local mall in Centerville and killed a penguin.
Flying across the stage, to be blunt about it.
He went to the zoo there. He had a picture of it, I think. It was like... Did you guys have the picture of the lynched penguin that he posted? Did it look fake to you?
Okay.
Okay. It was that easy. Okay. That is like the most agreeable I've ever seen this guy. I didn't get that.
Things I've already looked at, the Mandela effect takes a lot of time because from my point of view, I think we just need to figure out how the tiger's flying across the stage, to be blunt about it.
Okay. if you ever are interested in it and you do want to talk about it, I'd be loving to talk to you about it sometime. But
You know,
other than that,
I want to point out another thing. It's some of these things, like we're about to do mud flood, and these are catch-22.
Okay, so let's continue. I mean, look, you don't have to be sensitive about reality. I mean, it is what it is. If something's fake, it's fake. Nobody died at Sandy Hook. I don't feel bad saying that. I don't feel bad saying that the Mendoza effect is caused by the interrogator bias and by consensus memory or crowd memory effect. Thirst for Truth said, "I'm surprised he didn't roll with it like his lunar waves." Yeah, it's true. He could have played into it. He could have said, "Oh yeah, Mandela effects are more common, or Mandela effects happen with the lunar waves." So your books were Berenstain Bears. Then the lunar wave came and turned them into Berenstein. Your Fruit Loops became Fruit Loops. Your heart moved over. Your intestines lifted, and now you're more flexible. Like I can't wait for the next lunar wave and what it brings. And I was looking into another doomsday, which is the plasma doomsday. I don't know if you've heard about it. Don't want to get too much into it now. But the plasma thing is basically saying that we're having another doomsday where humanity is going to get sucked up into a hole in the sky. But if you're spiritually awake, you won't get sucked up. And moreover, your body will be better for it. You'll be stronger, taller, you'll grow into a giant, magic powers, everything. I mean, every one of these cults, they all have raptures and they all have upgrades for the true believers that the non-believers don't get. Like I said, though, it's another rabbit trail I don't want to go down, but I am just noticing the emergence of new raptures or neo-raptures. All kinds of new doomsday Armageddon scenarios. The link I just posted for you, that's Smashwords. You can read that book free. Here again, this is the character we're suggesting is wearing a mask, a full head mask. We're going to be looking into this. Yeah, interesting to know though. I'm really surprised that he didn't go with that one. It's such an easy one to go for, the Mandela effect. It's so easy to just, I mean, if you're not thinking about it. I just made jokes about it. I didn't take it seriously all that much. I just assumed people were experiencing something, synchronicities or coincidences, but when it comes down to what they're actually asserting and then mixing that with rationally deconstructing the news as compared to objective reality. Like you can't say the news is fake if you don't think reality is real. If reality is real, then the Mandela effect is not. It's that simple. We either have objective reality or we don't. If you're going to go the Mandela effect route, which is fine, you want to go into solipsism, subjectivism, magical thinking, go that route. However, if you're going down that route, you can no longer criticize fake news as fake because reality is fake. You've gone so meta in your analysis that you're not even in the system that you're criticizing. Everything's fake. And so what does that mean? Memento says Alex is very know-me. Yeah, I think so too. And this guy also strikes me as very know-me. Like,
It's over there, and then she.
So here's Alex acting foolish, just showing you that this guy is an actor and he can do faces, he can do voices.
Parking. They were kind of looking at us like we were where they're parking. They were kind of looking at where they're parking. Where they're parking. They were kind of looking at us like we were where they're parking. They were kind of looking at us like we were pathetic. And I just did it as a psychological test. I kind of went as a psychological test. I kind of went.
So I don't know. I mean, I could see him doing a Jake Bird character.
They got real happy when I.
This is totally him. I swear. The more I look at him act like a goofball,
They got real.
Look at the way he throws his arms around.
Happy when I acted like I was a fluoride.
Like a baby Tyrannosaurus. Okay, well, this other character with the tall hat was doing the same thing. He moves the same way, and I'll show you. And this is going to be given away in the movements. And look, we just need a few more little. Okay, watch this. I believe this is Alex playing the fool. Just take a listen.
Yeah, keep it flat, keep it flat.
Flat gang, man.
Flat, like top of the hat. Gotta keep it flat.
One more time. Flat gang.
Flat, gotta keep it flat.
One more time. Flat gang.
Flat, all the way.
It's flat gang, baby.
Flat gang? Yeah, flat gang. Oh.
So this is beyond idiocy. It's got to be an act. There's no way that's real. And again, let's compare it here to Alex acting the fool.
I acted like I was a fluoride head, and I acted mentally retarded. They got real pleased by that. They got real pleased by that. Retarded. They got real acted like I was a fluoride head, and I acted mentally retarded.
I mean, this guy is an actor. Bottom line. Bottom line, great comedian, okay actor. Even now, I mean, you got to say he's a great actor. He fooled the world. Okay, and this is what we're saying. That, yep, this is Alex deep faking it. And this is a big story. If this gets out, if it gets out that Alex Jones, don't just say fat suit. People will say, well, what else is new? Say, Alex Jones in a fat old man costume, hyper-realistic mask, clowning the flat earthers on Jimmy Kimmel. This should be on the front of the Drudge Report. They should say this has been one of the prankiest things ever. Like, this is on par with Andy Kaufman. This is big. Memento says back throat, very back throat speaky. Yeah, agreed. That's very back throat speaky. Very guttural. No doubt. Okay, now also note the width of the shoulders. Same build. I mean, look, he's just wearing, like, he borrowed Beyonce's baby bump thing that she wore for her fake pregnancy. He's just wearing a belly. And I looked at the side views, and I got more pictures. Like, I didn't mean to. If you're in Discord, you probably heard the notification bell go off like 1,000 times in a row. That was me dropping pictures of Alex Jones in rapid succession, juxtaposed against this character. So if you didn't know, Alex, of course, he is no stranger to pretending to be an idiot for money. I mean, he's been clowning the Republicans for how long? He's been clowning the alt-right. He's been clowning basically the fringes and the conspiracy theorists for so long. Why is this beyond the pale? So if you look here, shoulders and arms, very, very well developed. I would say, like some of these muscles, like how often do you actually use your triceps and biceps if you're not lifting weights or working out or whatever? And this guy probably does one arm curls when he's picking up that beer stein. But I don't think this guy is going to the gym. And I would say that underneath that yellow shirt is a somewhat fit middle-aged body with a big Santa belly attached to it. Crazy Flat Lady says Travelocity Gnome. I've never seen the Travelocity Gnome. Does it look like Alex Jones? Don't be speciesist and say that all gnomes, speciesist, I think is what they call it. You say all gnomes look the same. Is this the Travelocity Gnome? I kind of see that. I see what you mean with the hat. They may have been going for that. Okay, let me get back to that picture I was analyzing here. So again, the arms are the same size. The chest stops at the same spot. And for a belly that big, that distended, why aren't his moves flopping around? I mean, look, this doesn't make sense. And if it's a real person, I'm not trying to be offensive if this is your body type, but like I have a hard time believing it. And then there's other aspects to it too. Gray hair, gray sideburns, gray beard, white beard, eyebrows practically non-existent, and yet his hair is like he borrowed Patty Steer's hair dye. It's like bright red, young, youthful looking hair. That's a freaking wig. Memento says gaseous belly. The top hat is from the Spirit Halloween store. I think so too. No, it could be a Mason hat. Looks very Mason-y if you ask me. Now look at this one here. I was just aligning to see maybe if I could determine by the creases, how big his arms are on the top. And if you look here, the crease under the arm is in the same spot on the yellow shirt, which belongs to the guy with the black hat. So those don't look from the side, it looks like Alex Jones's, not only his arms, but his upper back muscles. Same slope. going to the back of the head. Same skull shape. I think that the head cover gives him new ears and a wig. Of course, the nose, but again, the eyes give it away, very deep set. Again, Alex is no stranger. Again, like I said, he does this for a living. He acts the fool. He's a government jester. Now, here's what I mean when I say that the eyes are deep set. So look in those eyes. I see Duper's Delight. Okay, so this is definitely some Rollin' Ready teeth. He probably borrowed Rick Hummer's redneck teeth because the guy wasn't using them. He was going to be upstaged by Jake Bird. See, Jake Bird kind of stole his gig. I wonder if Roland's pissed about it. He's like, I was supposed to go full derp on Jimmy Kimmel to betray everybody in the conference. I mean, we actually have videos of these people, where they're apologizing. Apparently, people were walking out of the conference because they were being roundly mocked by multiple little documentary crews. But look at those cheeks. Even look at the highlight where the light hits the cheek. Crazy Flat Lady says, the Magic Christian, they will do anything for money. If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Better hurry and act like a buffoon. Well, somebody definitely put him up to it. See that nose? That could easily go over his nose. And we know he bought a ticket. And remember, when we called out Roland Reddy, we were attacked over it. And everybody who knew that it was him lied, including Glowbusters, including Karen B. They all lied to defend him. Yep, these truthers. Yeah, you can trust her when she says she saw Bigfoot. Sure, you can trust her. Take her word for it, because she was the one who said that Roland Reddy is not Rick Hummer. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Later, you find out she was one of the few people in the know. Exploring again says, who normally goes to conferences with top hats? I think the eyes give it away. The eyes give it away. The top hat is there to hide a few things. It would be a dead giveaway if you didn't have the hat. Top hats are a Mason thing. The Master of the Lodge. Look at top hat, Master Mason. And I think we have something else here. I think we have something else that might actually give this away as a hoax. As a staged interaction. Yeah, oh, looks like very Masony. Your instincts were right if you called it out as a Mason thing. So Alex Jones wearing a very Masony hat. And the Masons are all about clowns too. Don't they all become Shriners at some point? Space Bubble says, Rick Hummer looks more natural as Roland Reddy. Yeah, I had myself asking that one day. I'm like, well, maybe Roland Reddy's like the base character. And then he plays up his intellect. He tries to sound smarter and he tries to play Rick Hummer. But he can only do it for like an hour at a time. So he can do it at these conferences. But then he's like, man, I gotta go back. All right, so we're looking at the top hats. There was something else I wanted to point out here. Yeah, again, that's highly suspect. Allergic to Bullshit says, OMF, that does look like Alex. Oh, yeah, it does. It looks very Alexy. Even the way he throws his head back and laughs. And he does this little voice, this little sound effect. Let me go ahead and go over there. Jimmy Kimmel, Flat Earth. Let's have a listen. And you know what? I think I might even go and listen to Rick Hummer apologizing. Because I said he would. I said months before. I said, okay, they're obviously setting everybody up. Oh, even better. Look who's this is great. So when you're looking at this interaction between the guy in the yellow shirt and Jake Bird, and everybody's laughing because they look like idiots and they're switching their hats and whatever. Well, take a look at this. Guess who Jake Bird was hanging out with the next week? He was hanging out with, yep, Alex Jones. Take a look at this. We could maybe even get an idea as far as their height comparison. Yep. They look like they've done this before. Hey, thanks for your follows. We're at 915. We're trying to get to 1,000 so I can become partner. I think we need about 12 more subscribers, 95 more subs. So what do you think of this? And this is another good look at Alex. Note the slope of his forehead. Now he hides it with the hat. There is a point where he switches hats with the other guy, and I think that's what's going to give it away. So we're going to compare these different shots. Okay, let's take a look here. This is even this one's probably even better for what we're doing here. I need a good profile shot of Alex Jones if anybody has one, and we'll get all this together because we are going to present our findings a little bit clearer and in a more organized fashion very soon here. Okay, now I can see it. So you'll notice a couple of things about Alex Jones, and we've studied him for years now because we've been looking at this Bill Hicks thing, which there's no denying it. Okay, look at the forehead. Yep, thank you. Space Bubble says similar forehead too. Yeah, so if you look at the way the forehead goes down and where it splits, and I know Alex because I watched his show for years. I know his face. I know the way he speaks. I know the way he throws his head back. I mean, you see these things all the time. You may not register every single micro expression, but you do become familiar with them when you get to know somebody. So, the more I look at it, the more damning this is. Did Alex Jones dress up? I mean, look where his hairline starts, okay, and look where it goes back. Lean Dion says, damn, the shape of the head is a big tell. Oh, yeah. The skull. I mean, there's nothing you can do there. Or there's not very much, though. I'm going to pull out some more pictures. I want to continue to make this comparison because, like I'm saying, this is quite damning. And this could be big. If you ask me, this is a big story because of Alex's enemies on the political left who would love to see him roasted. And at the same time, they like the fact that we all, or anybody not going with the flow, got kind of punked by this. He did a Logan Paul. And that's another thing to ask yourself. Would the people who let Logan Paul happen let this happen? Okay, so take a look at Alex Jones's skull shape, and I'm going to go back and forth. This is it. This is a good match. So I'm comparing the Jimmy Kimmel footage where he's standing in front of Jake Bird to the Jimmy Kimmel footage of this unknown guy standing in front of Jake Bird. A Call Day 2323 says, it looks like Alex said that he was going. Crazy Flat says, is there a meaning or a status to the top hat? Yeah, it means head or master mason, or master of the lodge. So this would be the worshipful master. So for him to show up in a mason hat, very masony to say in the least. Yep, it looks like Alex is wearing a nose prosthetic, having a laugh at your expense. Look at the area under the chin. And again, Jake Bird, what are the odds? Jake Bird, two skits, almost identical. These people know each other. This is actually really funny, though. I mean, I really hope this gets out. And something else to look at, too, as you make these comparisons, is you'll see that Alex Jones's beard line, I say beard in quotes, is the same as this guy's. Like, it's very similar. I got a couple other things I want to show you. I'll zoom in one more time. I want to show you just how masky this individual is. And I did a couple of overlays. Now, the reason I do these overlays, and these aren't perfect pictures to compare, but I want to see just generally, would this be conceivable as a mask? And I would say most definitely. Again, very masky. I mean, look how deep those eyes are. And his face, when you look at him talk, his face doesn't move like a face would move. But look at the lines on the sides of the nose that go down to the sides of the mouth. Oh, yeah. And remember, again, this guy is a lifelong actor. Could call him a lifetime actor. Well, I think this is a joke, but the reason why they won't let it go is probably because who it implicates. Like, they probably won't let this out. See the region beneath his nose, how it kind of pops out? That thickness there? That's consistent in appearance with Alex Jones with false teeth. You know, you go to the laundromat or whatever, they have vending machines and you buy the hillbilly teeth that you pop in for 50 cents. That's what it looks like. These are just stage teeth. Look at those eyes. And again, the discrepancy between the noses can easily be explained by this nose is the part that's attached. JT33 says they went shopping at the Halloween store. Oh, I'm certain of it. I mean, look at this look at this clown mask. Where did he get this from? And that's normal. You know, who doesn't own a bunch of costumes? Never know when you're going to go to a conference and be on late night TV in front of millions of people that you want to reach, but you're going to go in disguise. Might come in handy. Cam B says, well, LOL. Oh yeah, hey, we Cam beat this guy. Cam B actually steps in. He can offer his views on this. What are your thoughts on this? We're talking about Alex Jones trolling the flat earthers at the conference with Jake Bird, who he knows. He already knows Jake Bird. I mean, this is hilarious. You know, there's no skeletons in Alex Jones's closet. It's all fat suits and funny masks. Who knows? This can't be the first time he's pulled this crap. Okay, question. Has anybody seen Bob Knodel and Alex Jones in the same room at the same time? That could be another hideous disguise. Just kidding. Too short, right? I mean, I guess you could put lifts in your shoes. I don't know. Again, lifelong actor. None of it surprises me. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and make another attempt here. We're going to call into Mad Mike Hughes. I know he's live. So is this Alex Jones in a fat suit? And look, for any of you who are new to this topic, we've been exposing deepfakes. Miley Cyrus in a fat suit. Not even that fat, but Miley Cyrus in a bodysuit, a skin suit, playing the role of an NBA wife, Ayesha Curry. And what's more, Ayesha Curry comes out selling this mascara that will, quote, make your eyes twerk. So, what does that say? I mean, whenever somebody talks about twerking, what comes to mind? Like, this has got to be an inside joke. Just bringing it up. This is all par for the course. We're just talking about staged magic. They have the same backstage. I mean, this is really the true secret of the Illuminati, if there is one. The deepest secret, and even the Illuminati card game bears this out. There's a card that describes this. The deepest secret is not clones. It's not MK Ultra. It's not reptilians. Those are all misinformation lines to hide this. The deepest secret is that the deep faking technology you've been warned about already exists, and it involves hyper-realistic disguises and the use of theater and stagecraft in governance. And it's not just your politicians who are in on it, but it's people throughout the media whose job it is to corral the human mind. So you think the earth is flat? Well, don't worry. This guy from PBS is going to come down, dressed like a dumb yokel, and misrepresent you so nobody takes you seriously. I mean, this is really a savage thing they're doing. It's pretty fucked up. This is weaponized anthropology. It's not a nice thing. You know, it's not like, oh, let's write him a thank you letter for going viral acting the fool. Like, we know what the gig is. The gig is up. So here he is, and we got a video, I'll pull it up, of Hummer apologizing for Jake Bird. Well, it's like, man, you did Jake Bird last time. I'm going to go to the very end of this video by. Okay, here we go. This is it. This is
guy I'm using this clip from. He plays some.
This is Hummer making his apology.
Was going to be said last night. Some people have already come up to me today, and I had no idea. And I had never seen. I didn't know what was going.
Of Owen Benjamin.
I had never seen. I didn't know what was going to be said last night. Some people have already come up to me today, and I had no idea. And you know, Owen has been great on these podcasts and stuff, but if you got offended last night, I can understand on very much some of the things that were being said. I know that there are certain people that I watched walk out. They didn't understand. They didn't know what Owen was about, and
They didn't understand or know.
All right, so there you go. Actually apologizing, playing dumb, yet he did his own Jake Bird routine. Only doesn't call it Jake Bird. All right, I think now Mike is live. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
A gun boutique, that number comes up with that also, and of course it came up with Dennis Luca twice. So like I said, you know, you be careful who you follow in this movement, and and just do all the research yourself, and the people that you're looking at their research them. So like I said, we have someone looking at some other people in flat earth right now. We have some people that's doing some more research in Dubai. And you know, there's a reason, and I was told just a few minutes ago, there's probably a reason why he's
Welcome
in Thailand.
to Flat Earth
so
Radio.
We can find out why he's in Thailand and not here or where he's from originally. So anyway, we're looking at IPS should be called. I forgot my reading glasses again, so I'm squinting at the number here. Okay, yeah, he should be calling about any time.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio. Please wait until someone is ready to assist you.
I'll answer any questions. And once again,
Okay, 1 second. I think I'm on hold.
every once in a while, I will see a video that I'm thinking, this is amazing.
Just so you know, we're at ferlive.com. Damn, you know what? Sorry about that. You know, I've been trying to get in. I've been trying to get through. I keep getting a bad phone tree and the wrong number. If anybody else is able to get any luck, maybe someone else should call in first and then hand me the number if you're able to. And again, it's ferlive.com.
That's a confirmed date. And I'm working on the parachute right now. But anyway, back to the videos.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio.
The gentleman put
Please
together
press
the video
1 to reach
with
our home office or press 2
flat
to be on
surface
live radio.
underneath the oceans. Totally amazed me. I thought, man, it's a brilliant how this guy explained it. And he did. He's going kind of outside the box. It's how I like to think about things. And then the gentleman that did the video of how your eyes perceive things. I have never in my life
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio.
seen or heard a video
Please wait until
explaining how
someone
our
is ready
eyes
to
work
assist you.
and how they perceive things. I mean, a lot of people's talked about it, but this guy explained it down to, I hate to use the word science, but I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, to how your eyes work. And it was absolutely amazing to me how this guy explained this deal. From the simplest terms to a point where he was over my head. I'm going, wow, how does this even work? So I'm going to bring up some couple of things that I thought about that no one else.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We got bad hold music and a shrill, piercing beep whenever I dial in. I'm going to try again. Okay, we'll try again here in about 10 or 15 minutes. If anybody else wants to try calling in, it's FER Live. And if you get through, let me know. So we're going to continue to work on this project here, unmasking this character. So if anybody knows anything about this guy from Jimmy Kimmel, the best explanation that we have right now is that this is Alex Jones deep faking it with a hideous costume. No offense if it's a real person, but we're like I said earlier, 999% easy. I mean, I'm almost 1,000% certain. The arms, the crease in the arms, the profile, the nose. I'm going to do a Zoom conference maybe later this evening, and we're going to go into detail and we're going to put our best evidence forward, and then we'll be presenting it here very soon because I think we have a solid case here. And if this is the case, man, look at that beard. Look at that jawline. Look at that chin line. I mean, it's definitely a weird coincidence at a minimum. Again, I'd draw your attention to the cheeks and the area beneath his nose. There is enough here to accommodate the buck teeth, the fake teeth. Would also explain the way he talks. So yes, we are suggesting that the guy in the top hat who acted the fool on behalf of the Flat Earth Conference on Jimmy Kimmel is none other than Alex Jones, who sabotaged you last year. The Frog is King says, look at the ears. The ears don't really do it. The ear is not a disqualifier nor a qualifier. The masks that we're talking about cover the entire head. Dallas Goldbug has been running a misinformation line for years, where he never once brought up the possibility of hyper-realistic masks. With him, it was bioidentifiers, biometrics. It was ears. It was cosmetic surgery. No way. That's what they've been hiding. So Dallas Goldbug, I think, is disinformation. And one of the reasons I really think so is so many of these people seem like they're set up to be discredited later, or they don't really get into any kind of a methodology. It's just usually it's magic and woo. They don't really have any answers. But this would be that guy. He was on I-69. I'm not sure exactly what made him suspicious, but it's pretty shady stuff. Trunk full of meth. So I'm not really going to take his word for anything when he says that the ears are what seal the deal. I'm like, more than likely it's not the case. Again, what I'm looking at here is where they added on flesh, where they added on the silicone. And they gave him a different nose. The cheeks are mostly the same. The eyes are the same. I mean, he's having a great time. You can see the duper's delight in those eyes. Milky Smooth says, you tape the ears to the head and pull over a mask with new ears or use prosthetic earpieces. Yeah, I mean, look at behind the scenes on various movies. I would say The Avengers is really good for this. There's so much you can do. And it has very little to do with cosmetics. It's all just rubber. I mean, everything that they can do in the movies, they do. Not that they can do, they actually do on the nightly news. All right, let's see if they're taking calls yet.
Conversations with me all the way up, and people seeing or what I'm seeing. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. And for people that thinks $2.5 million is too much money, is clueless, absolutely clueless. So, while we're on the subject of the rockets with Flat Earth, there's a lot of people out there that I think thinks they're balloons or helium. I can't really buy into that for a lot of reasons. Balloons don't like weight. And for helium to lift something as heavy as what a rocket ship would have to be, or a spacecraft, you'd have to have probably a bigger fuselage or fuel tank area than what most of these rockets are displaying. Originally, when Warner von Braun came on board, his original estimate to get to the moon, supposedly the fuel alone, it would take 3 containers and/or fuselages just full of fuel just to get there than what was on the first rocket that took them to the moon. So I don't know whatever changed on what changed on that, but it did. And that's something I have never really forgot, is that statement there, how much it would take for fuel, because the amount of fuel that's burned off initially. We're trying to give IPS the heads up right now. Okay, we've missed each other twice already. So the point where it's going to take that much fuel to the point where they actually launch this rocket. I don't know when all that information changed, or when did the math change, or whatever. I find it kind of amazing. I really do. I really do. One of the most interesting things I've come across with NASA, because originally von Braun wanted to launch and land the complete rocket that took off from Florida all the way to the moon. And I guess they was going to relaunch it and bring it back into orbit and bring it back, and it just didn't make sense. And some guy in the back of the room, he's like real meek guy. He's like raises his hand, goes, "Why don't we just build a lunar lander, and it separates from the main ship, and the main ship circulates around the moon, and then it lands and takes off." And he says this, and everybody stops. It's like, really? And then that's wind up.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio.
That's how they plan to do it. That was the plan from there on out. So that's probably one of the most interesting stories about NASA that I've ever heard. Still, once again, I have to always think about Thomas Ronald Barron.
Welcome to Flat Earth Radio.
And, I brought his name up
Please
several
wait
times,
until
and
someone is ready to
it's a
assist you.
smoking gun with all these space programs. The guy wrote a 500-page report. And a week later, after it was, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to try to get through again. Let's see if we can make it. Sorry for the hold music. Alright, I'm trying to get through. We've been having some issues with their call-in system. I did speak to the engineer earlier, so we'll see if we can get through. I think I almost got through before, but I got tired of the hold music and I had muted it. And by the time I unmuted it, it was already too late. But I'm going to catch it this time, if I can. Okay, well, not really sure how their phone system works. I thought it was as simple as you dial a number and hit the right number on the phone tree. No such luck. I'm going to try dialing 1 this time instead of 2. Let's see what's behind door number 1. Waiting for the friendly robot voice.
Did you say something? Please use your keypad to direct your call. Press 1 for our home office. Press 2 to talk with the live DJ. Connecting to the home office.
Yeah, Crazy Flat Lady, if you want to volunteer to help out, I'm sure they could use some.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing? So, I think I'm calling during the right hour. He's on live right now, correct?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, so how do you patch me through? Am I doing this right?
Let me...
see if Rick gets back to me here.
Okay, cool. So, have
Oh,
you?
he's
Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So is it the 619-552-2000 on your site, or is there a different number?
It's a different number than that. That's the office number. It rings directly to me.
Okay, the other number would cause this shrill noise. Okay, I think Mike's just calling out. Hey, what's up, Mike? I was just talking to Russ.
Oh, okay. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. I was just talking to Russ. He tried to patch me through, so this will work for now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought was happening. So everyone, this is IPS again. The reason I bring him on every week, we talk all the time, and he is a wealth of knowledge, and he's kind of like me. He has rattled the cage of a lot of flat Earth people, and which it needed it. It needed it before I came in the movement, and it still needs it. So I don't know how much you've heard of my the show so far. We've touched on several subjects, including Russian vids. And Mark's, Russian vids not believing I'm a real flat earther. Of course, he never spoke to me before, or called me, or emailed me, or anything. But what is? Have you heard of this gentleman named American? He was known by American Idiot at one time. He went underground.
No, you mentioned him earlier. So who is this American Idiot? When you said American Idiot, I thought I was familiar. I looked it up, but I didn't find it. Who is it?
Yeah, it was a gentleman. He is in the other room. And he is in hiding, and his documentary will come out in March about the Las Vegas shooting. And this guy was telling me stuff, and one of the most interesting things is, which I've already said tonight, I guess he knows Stephen Paddock's brother, and the guy actually does live in Orlando. Okay.
Oh, okay. See, that's interesting because I remember Stephen Paddock's brother showed up in a couple of videos because he was wearing a T-shirt that had a logo displaying the same logo worn by some of the people at the Orlando shooting.
Yeah, we talked about that. In fact, let me bring this down real quick. His podcast or whatever used to be called 5x5 News. Have you heard of that? He used to go by that also. But
no, I haven't. So, what's his take on Vegas in general, and what has been the treatment? Is he the one the police were stalking?
Well, it seems like it. Remember we've talked about that guy before that went underground you can't find?
Yeah, that's right.
Looks like he's here. And I'll be on the show next week. And we're going to let him explain it. I will not do it justice. And, there's, one thing about me, when I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. And,
yeah, well, that Vegas thing is a big deal. It's still being talked about. There was this guy, High Impact Flicks, who thinks that there was a shooter in a helicopter. So it just gets crazy, and I'd like to hear his take on it. So that's great. It's a great finally to meet him, because I remember last year you were trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah, remember we was trying to. So basically, this guy just walked in with a mutual friend, and so basically, we'll find out anything you want to know about Las Vegas shooting, you will know next week. And we'll spend probably 30 minutes with him for you to call in, and you'll not speak for 15 minutes, and we'll let him call in and take over. Maybe he'll just show up here, and I'll just give him the headset. Maybe that's what's even best. You know what I mean?
It might be better for sound and otherwise. Yeah, that would be great. So a minute ago, you mentioned Russian vids. Well, Russian vids in a couple of days is going to be on a live stream with Rick Hummer, and they're going to talk about Jake Bird, the guy from Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
And so that might be an interesting topic, because Hummer actually apologized for everybody getting mocked by Jimmy Kimmel. He apologized, so he's going to be talking to Russian vids in a couple days.
Interesting. Well, whatever. I've washed my hands of Rick Hummer. Okay.
Yeah, I just thought it interesting that Rick, and it's not just him. Russian vids is also going to be on with Nathan Thompson. I think he just had Sargent on. So Russian vids is going around talking to a lot of people, and my point mainly is that his only statements about you is he said that you're not a flat earther, and I'm like, how did he arrive at that?
Yeah, isn't that what David Weiss said also?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
well, the thing is, IPS, I got so much media coverage that it made people crazy. It really did. It just made them crazy.
Yeah, that could be actually what he said. He said it ticked him off that he put so many years into this, and then you come out and then you get all this attention. And I thought, aren't these guys about the truth? If that's why this whole community seems so toxic, is there are people who aren't here to unveil anything. It just seems like they're here to grow their YouTube channels or something.
Yeah, if you're still out there doing laser experiments, man, I don't know what to say for you. I mean, just get a life. I think is the best thing. Really, it just doesn't make sense. Someone told me the other day they proved the Earth was flat over 27 miles. I said, okay, I guess I'll be on the front page of the New York Times tomorrow, huh? You know what I mean? It's not going to make any difference. None.
Yeah, and so someone had asked me before, how long again are you going to be live when you do the space jump?
At least 2.5 hours.
Okay, because I had read somewhere, I think it was the Red Bull jump, they said it had something like 8 million live viewers on YouTube. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
8 million on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that would look like a Saturday morning TV show, kiddie show when I take off, okay?
I think so as well.
It would be the most watched event in mankind history. And if you don't get that, I can't help you.
Well, he went up 128,000 feet, and that was in like New Mexico. Any chance that you could do your jump in New Mexico at the spaceport?
I don't think they want me there at the spaceport, but I think that's probably where it's going to take off, either there or somewhere in Arizona. But New Mexico is the place. It really is, yeah.
Well, you do have a point, though, that that's the thing that will get everybody to look. You could have laser tests done all day, and it's not going to get anybody's attention. And I think they beat that. They've already beat that horse to death.
Yeah, and I don't want to downplay what someone's trying to do. I mean, it's better that than sitting at home drinking beer and watching a football game, I guess. But it's not going to make any difference. This is what I've been trying to explain to people. It's just like, who cares if someone makes honestly another documentary about flat Earth? I'm just like, really, who cares? It's just not going to get the point across. It's just not going to get the point across.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Another documentary isn't really needed. I'm kind of at the same. I'm like, well, we need more information. Like, what are your thoughts? Have you given any thought to the North Pole? Like, what do you think's actually going on there, if anything?
Yeah. I honestly don't even know enough to talk about it. I really don't. I just don't. Who knows at this point? Honestly, who knows? I can't tell you if there's more ice there now than it was 20 years ago, or more glaciers, or whatever, or more polar bears. Who knows? But the answer may be up there, honestly.
Yeah, people have been asking me for a while about this, because a lot of people assume there's a dome. And, so Max Egan came out as a flat earther today, and he believes that we're under a dome. So my question is, well, if we're going to assume a dome, how are we going to test that? Do you have any concerns about hitting any barriers?
No, I don't. At my height that I'm planning on going, no. Now, I did make a statement before you came on that I don't believe anyone else is clued into, is that instead of a solid wall around the side, it may be what's called an air wall, where basically you have forced air or some kind of atmospheric condition that it gives it like a wall. In other words, you can't feel on the other side of it, but you can see through it, just like these casinos and supermarkets have in the summertime. You walk in the air conditioning, but because that air shoots down, it blocks the hot air from coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. Like in the hospitals where it blows the flies out or something, so that you wouldn't be able to pass it, but it wouldn't have to be a hard barrier.
It does not have to be a hard barrier. Is that possible? At this point, who knows? It's strictly conjecture, but it's something to me that it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking too that no matter what it is, we're not going to know till somebody makes that step, and it's either going to be very far south or very high up. And so to me, I'm just like, no point debating. People just need to line up behind what you're doing and make
Yeah.
this the definitive event, the definitive experiment.
Yeah, I'm just done with all these debates. I don't even listen to them. It's just, I mean, can you learn something from these people? Yes, but in the end, it's really not going to make the impact that needs to be made. It's just not going to make the impact. And once again, these people do these laser experiments. You should be doing it over frozen water. I said it twice before. I'm not going to say it again.
Yeah, there may be something to that. Frozen water. All these observations, like you said, though, there's a point where we're not going to convince anybody. And the longer it goes on, the more splintered the group's going to become, and it's going to be 9/11 truth all over again, where 20 years later, they're still trying to figure out what the hell happened.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I find it just really bizarre that the movement of flat Earth has not got behind something big to prove or disprove this theory. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me. In other words, you collectively get together and you try to find the answer. Okay? This is the event. We can know in 10 months or 12 months, we'll know the answer. Okay? And $2.5 million or 2.8 is what it may come to, and we may have $500,000 in reserve in case we lose a balloon. That's the only thing that makes sense. It really does. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Okay, so that's you're saying about 10 months or so. This is also going to be on the tail of your TV show that comes out, which will probably do a whole lot to raise awareness about it. What's any sort of updates on the TV show? Any idea when they're going to start putting that together? As far as
I believe last week I stated they supposedly Discovery watched the little primer show for it, the pilot. I think January 2nd. At least that's what I was told. They're waiting on the 4th episode when I launch again, and I did announce a new launch date, February 22nd. That's the date I'm climbing in the rocket and I'm launching myself.
February 22nd. Great. That should be any specific launch site, same spot as before, or do you have any other ideas?
Well, we do have that Amboy site available. We're looking at 2 other sites, and I am hoping we know by Saturday morning which one it is. At least that's the plan.
Gotcha. So how's the movie doing? I know that last time I checked on Amazon, it was 10,000 downloads a night, getting rave reviews. It's been only out for what, 6 or 7 months?
Yeah, something like that. They're still doing real well. I've actually spoke with Toby. I believe it's either once this week, and we've exchanged a couple of emails. So, and of course, we're getting ready to have Brother Ernest print some Rocket Man T-shirts for the movie. I guess they're going to be here within about 10 days. And let me go ahead and announce this right now. Where I'm at Cafe 247 in Lucerne, the rocket and the launch vehicle will be on display here from, it looks like, January 31st to February 6th or 7th. That's the plan. And why it's going to be here is this location that I'm at right now, 20 minutes down the road that way, or 30, it's called the King of the Hammers. 60,000 people in the middle of nowhere, Johnson Valley. They've got their own little town built out there. I heard the Red Hot Chili Peppers going to be out there this year. And I'll be here with the rocket on display with it. We're going to sell a few $1,000s worth of merchandise. And I think the production company's even going to come out and film one day here.
Okay, that's about 10 days. And what is this event about again?
Well, we're not tied into the King of the Hammers, but that's the big event going on down the road. And, of course, they have to come through this intersection.
Gotcha.
Everybody, we're at Highway 18 and 247, and everyone comes by here. And the amount of motorhomes, toy haulers, rock climbers, motorcycles is incredible that comes through this intersection. So we think it's going to be a big, 7 to 10 days for us here. And then we will pull the rocket down, take it back to the house, do the final adjustments on it, and you'll go straight to the launch site. So if you want to see the rocket firsthand, we'll have all the merchandise down here for sale. and you can do it January 31st through February 6th or 7th, and then go enjoy the King of the Hammers. They say it's an incredible event.
Well, it's quite a billboard, and that's the reason why you originally got in contact with us, is we had done the billboard, and you had brought that up before. Any ideas for any billboards in 2020? Which is, I mean, it's always been a great way to, draw attention.
Well, I would like to personally run a billboard to promote the show and the movie and everything else, but maybe we'll also promote it as far as to a political career. Like I said, I'm very interested in wanting some sort of politics. Not that that was my life goal, but I think if I don't do it, who's going to do it? You gotta be the change in the world that you want to see. Okay, and you gotta live by example. And I'd rather go hang out in Newport Beach and drink margaritas all day. Okay, but that doesn't get anything done. So maybe it takes me running for sheriff or whatever to help turn this thing around. I mean, man, I've got my neck stuck on there right now, in a big way. And in fact, I dropped off some more information to the grand jury yesterday. I got 2 things down in the grand jury that I have submitted. And we're getting ready to go to the legislature to present some more stuff within 2 weeks. So that's the latest on that. But the billboard, I love billboards. But of course, the rocket, is the billboard every time it moves, and every time it goes somewhere.
Well, that's why I thought of it. Just the number of impressions that we'll get. People do notice it. They take note. They take pictures. And of course, that jump you're doing, whoever ultimately gets behind that is going to get quite a lot of exposure, obviously.
Something else is you just reminded me. I have not spoken with the gentleman yet, but someone called Toby, which is the producer of the movie, Toby Russo, and they want to do a mini documentary of me prepping for this next launch. And I guess they've got a possible avenue to sell this to overseas, and that's something I was just told about 2 days ago. So there's always things in the works. As you well know, we've talked about twice now, there's a major entertainment company that wants to jump on board to promote the launch, me, and raise the money for the space launch and sell the 2.5 to 3 hour live TV special.
Well, that's great. I mean, the next jump you're doing here in February, there's no reason why the build-up to it shouldn't be filmed, and the whole thing ought to be, documented 100%. That's one of the things that always surprised me about SpaceX is you only have one camera view from very far away and one mounted camera. I'm like, why doesn't the guy have drones everywhere? Because on your last jump, you had multiple camera angles.
Yeah. I can't answer the question. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. You would think when that thing comes back down by itself and lands, where it took off, you would think there'd be 100 cameras there. I just don't know.
Okay, so the balloon thing. Someone, and I heard you mention this earlier about some people are suggesting that the rockets that they're using are actually balloons, which I don't agree with necessarily. I think if anything, and I want to run this by you, what about airships? Could they be, like, for example, could one of these rockets actually just be a cylindrical airship with jet-assisted takeoff? Would that be something that could create that effect?
Well, I mean, it's possible, but, jets work different than rockets. Jets have to spool up, and in fact, they turn kind of like one direction, where the rocket has a straight through propulsion system. My opinion, no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you shed a light on this thing with the rocket that was supposedly hitting the dome, because that still goes around. And, I had someone else say to me, it's called I think they said it's a reverse yo-yo effect or something, where, it's designed to pop the parachute and stop the flight. And so, people are saying, well, it's hitting a solid object. And, we need people who have more information about these things to be able to explain what's actually going on. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. People
thinking about rockets. I really never having that much knowledge about it. But people can talk. Talk about what you want to. It's just that I know the gentleman that owns a rocket, and I know the gentleman that does a propulsion system, and it didn't hit the dome.
Okay, I got a question from a guy here. His name is Flat Fact. He says, why wouldn't you just go up in a balloon? And I know you've probably answered that before. That's what someone has for you.
No, that's a great question. In fact, that's been suggested to me. A balloon only go up so far, around 130,000 feet, and then what it does is it's called equalization, and it actually starts flying sideways. It will not go up any further, no matter if it's carrying weight or not. It's just that's kind of limit to them. So someone made in fact, you sent me the information, 2 weeks ago, of a company in Tucson was going to go to space with a balloon. It's not possible. Not possible.
Right, exactly. Not possible. So you're getting up as high as you possibly can and then blasting up from there.
Yeah, and then blasting and hitting the rocket. It would be a hydrogen peroxide rocket. They're cool burning. It'd be burning around 1,300 degrees. And it's not the most efficient rocket. It's just kind of like my steam rocket. It's a very low efficient rocket. But I think for what we're wanting to do is probably the best way to go, for this. And we keep coming up with new ideas for this every day. In fact, we changed something just yesterday on it, and on the support system for the wings that holds the tank in place and whatever. So, it's kind of like a piece of art. You just kind of keep changing and changing it or sculpture until it's done.
Interesting. Well, it's been fascinating to follow this, and I can't wait for the TV show. I mean, for people who haven't seen it, your Rocket Man documentary, a lot of that is just hard labor. You're constantly holding tools. You're constantly working.
Yeah, it's just mind blowing the amount of hours. It really is. But I said that when I was racing. And it's just what it is. I say this in the movie, and in fact, I think it's even in one of the trailer teasers, and that is. This takes everything, and it will take everything from you, which it has. It can take everything from you, including your life.
Oh, right, exactly. I mean, the movie shows it all. Anybody who hasn't seen it, you could not have scripted a movie like that. No way. And it's all real.
Once again, I don't think anything in flat Earth history has gotten as much publicity as that. I don't care if it's anything Eric Dubé's done or anybody's done or anything. I think it's it's got the most publicity for flat Earth than anything in the history of this movement.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a new test now, my shill test. If someone doesn't back you, they're pretty much a shill. And I hate to say that, but the fact is, there is no other thing that can actually break this thing, that can actually shatter the illusion. Like, you came up with a brilliant concept, and this is the only thing I can imagine that could actually do it.
Yeah, and of course, I've said this several times, even with you on board, that is, I'm the wild card. They didn't see me coming, and they thought they could control this thing, and or at least stay in front of the message, and they can't with me. I'm going to steamroll over anybody that doesn't get behind this deal. And then we become very insignificant once the TV show comes out.
Exactly. And then, of course, all eyes will be on you as you move towards your space jump, which the more people who are watching the build-up, the better. We want people to take bets. And this is something that people on both sides should be behind. And there are some people on the other side who really like what you're doing, like McToon. I know you met him.
He was nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
He was nice to me. What I try to do is try to bridge something with these guys. And people can believe what they want to believe, okay? It's kind of your right. I just get pissed off when your right infringes on me. It's like when people voted for Obama the second time. Really? I got to put up that guy for another 4 years, you know what I mean? And listen to his bullshit and listen to his face and his tranny wife. I mean, so I kind of have to draw the line somewhere on that. But as far as the people still believe in the globe, man, I get it. Okay, I get it. It's a tough thing to get your arms around, and then most people are just afraid of what other people's going to think about it. Where me, I don't give a shit. Okay, I just don't care. I don't care, and it kind of takes that attitude. But there's some people that's interviewed me that I guess still believe that what we've been taught, that we live on a globe. It's been very nice to me. Mick Toons is very nice to me, and Mick West was nice to me. There's been several radio shows. Now there's some people on Sirius Radio or Cyrus Radio, however you want to pronounce it, that kind of got rough with me, but I don't care. Just it is. It's part of the territory.
Commenter.
But, let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make the comment. This, a short one. For people that think that I've gotten rich off flat Earth, I don't sell enough merchandise to pay my cell phone bill every month. Okay. Now, I want everyone to realize how many sponsorships has been lost, and not even knowing how many sponsorships have been lost because of flat Earth. I've had a friend of mine, a sponsor, that walked away just because of the production company. I've had people walk away because of flat Earth. They don't want to be associated with it. So who knows how much money it's costing me? Don't know. But, at the end of the day, I just feel that this is the right thing to do for me to do. No matter if it's popular belief or not. Go ahead. So someone call in? Someone got a question?
Oh, yeah. Someone had a question here. They asked if you were scared.
Of what?
Okay. Yeah, good question. I mean, I hear that question, but I'm like, I know you've
done.
I'm
scared of the legal system. I'm scared of the government. I'm scared of those Australian wildfires. That is a scary thing right there. But anyway, as far as the rocket, yeah, you got to be concerned. That thing will snuff the life out of you, and it won't think twice about it. Now, the space launch, I think the balloon ride's going to be pretty safe. But once I push the button to launch the rocket at 130,000 feet up to go up another, 40-something miles, man, that's the point of no return. I think it's going to be easy getting me up there. I think me coming back down is going to be the hard part. My opinion.
Yeah, the coming back down part, the speeds. I mean, I heard the description, and it's I can't even really conceptualize it. And especially you're moving at such a speed through an environment that none of us have ever been in. So you're talking about moving. I mean, how fast is that supposed to be?
Coming down, at times I will hit 2,000 miles an hour.
Exactly, 2,000 miles an hour. That's incredible. I mean, I have no.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, this will be live streamed, and that's how you can say, with confidence that this will be the most viewed thing, pretty much in human history.
Yeah, and it's not I don't want to say this to be boisterous. It's just I don't see anything else that would top this on a worldwide level. And now with the amount of people, with the amount of avenues or that people can view things, I think I think the world's going to come to a stop for about 3 hours, and it should.
That's what I'm expecting. Well, Mike, there's just a few minutes left, so I've got about 133 people listening on my end. So I'm putting a link to your madmikehughes.com, and I'm saying anybody who wants to support you going to space independently, doing it live, and proving or disproving flat Earth, if they can all pitch in, they just need to go to madmikehughes.com, get on your email list, maybe check out your store, watch your movie, and donate if they can, because you're doing it this year.
Yeah. We're supposed to know by Friday if the network is going to allow this entertainment company to step in and kind of grab the bull by the horns and raise the money to do this. So, it's an interesting time between now and the 1st of March.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for taking my call, Mike, and answering the questions of my commenters. I'm going to send as many of them as I can to your page so they can keep in touch and then tune in next week at the same time.
Yeah, same time. Yeah, thanks again for your time, man. You're a wealth of information.
Likewise. Always fun. Have a great night.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play the rest on Flat Earth Radio, and this is
Okay.
FERlive.com.
Okay, everyone. That was IPS from his secret location somewhere. Um, although I think it is somewhere in the southwest part of the United States. Um, Next week, we'll have the gentleman on and we'll talk about everything you want to know about the Las Vegas shooting by the guy that's doing the documentary and by the same guy that's gone into hiding over this. And so this is next week. It kind of reminded me of something that happened to me about a year ago. I'm in Laguna. It's a short story. I'm in Laguna Niguel at a motorcycle event with a couple of friends of mine. We have my limo there on display, and some guy walks up to me, and we just start talking. And we start talking about truther stuff and flat Earth and what I thought about what happened at a certain couple of things in the media. And so you just wonder how this guy just gravitated towards me. So I didn't know if he knew I was going to be there and walked up to me or whatever. So it's just this thing tonight reminded me of that other event in Laguna Niguel. It just it's really different. But yeah, he used to go by American Idiot. This guy's done a ton of research, and he's doing some research on some other people in the flat Earth community that I've asked him to do. And because there's some rumors going around that people used to work for Department of Defense, and we will know that, I guess, by tomorrow. So once again, I want to thank my buddy Russ, who owns FDR Live, Rick, who runs the board. Hey, this thing didn't even shut down tonight. That's amazing. I just realized that we're still on the air. So maybe that problem is fixed. Maybe we can get the phones working next week. Just thank everybody in Flat Earth, FUR Live, and we'll see everybody here same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you.
All right. This is Mad Mike's theme song by Chief Crow and the Flat Earth Worms, and I'll be right back with you in about 2 minutes.
Get so high, out of sight. Man, yeah, sonic boom. Put yourself through the plasma moon.
All right, so that would be Mad Mike Hughes every Wednesday at this time. He just kicked off this program every week, and he's going to be doing this really just to build up and bring you along as he goes to space. And yeah, the plan is this. The plan is Raccoon, 20 miles up in a balloon, can't go any higher, as he explained, and then the rocket goes through the balloon and has enough propulsion to take, I guess it's supposed to be another 40 miles from there. And like he said, he doesn't think he'll have trouble getting 62 miles, but going back down, that's the scary part. But this is going to be a live event, and the whole plan, and he came up with this in 2017. The plan was get a lot of attention with a few daredevil jumps, because he's done this daredevil work for years. He's been on Jimmy Fallon with his long distance limousine jumping. So here, he did these independent rocket jumps. This Research Flat Earth one, this channel, we sponsored this because this was to bring attention to his space jump, which is going to cost $2 million. Well, actually, 3.8 million is what he said. So $3.8 million for the craft, the helium, for everything. And that's happening later this year. All right, let's see. Any comments? Am I missing anything? Again, here's the link madmikehughes.com. He's got an email list, which you should probably get on. And he said next week he's going to be on with American Idiot. So American Idiot's the guy who did the Las Vegas documentary. And apparently he was being followed around by Las Vegas police, or so he said. And so he kind of went into hiding. So that should be interesting. We tried to get a hold of him last year. We tried to get him to speak at an event, and we could not get a hold of him. All right, let's see if I've missed anything else. When is it now? Is it the one now with Nathan Thompson and Russian Vids? Very curious about this. And yeah, who made this meme? Anybody want to call in? Yeah, 505-510-4226. This is Thompson's trout pout, which again, that's his belly button. Never seen a trout pouted belly button before. Maybe it's a new anatomical change, a Mandela effect. The Mandela effect did say that their bodies are changing. So it's not just your peanut butter labels and your kids' books and obscure quotes from Star Wars. Nope. Nope. Now you got lips on your belly button, your heart moved, your guts have moved up, and you're more flexible. Like they seriously like, oh, one day I'm gonna wake up cute. Hey, what's up, caller? Hey, caller.
Hey, what's going on, man? Great show as always.
Appreciate it. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Well, I think honestly, this Mike has got some pretty big balls, man, to do what he's doing. And I've listened to I don't know. I've listened to you now for about a month and a half, and I think it is pretty crazy how the flat Earth movement has been co-opted, has been taken over, and how none of these guys would. I mean, they have the ability now to find out what shape the Earth is, and it doesn't seem like they want to know,
Not at all.
So,
in fact, Mark Sargent just had talked about this the other day, and they was on some live stream. They were saying that no, they actually didn't want Mike at the conference. We just showed up. They did not want him there, and when he came out in front, they created this redneck character called the Rocket Scientist. So, yeah, the movement's
try
been
to
co-opted.
discredit him.
100%.
Yeah, which is pretty bizarre. So I think I become like almost a complete auto hoaxer. So I want to give you some credit for that. Although I do want to bring up one scenario, okay?
Sure.
If you got time. My boy lives in Wisconsin, goes to school in Waukesha, Wisconsin, and in I think it was December 3rd, kid brought a gun to the school. A kid that really nobody knew, kind of an outcast. And I think what ended up happening was the police at the school confronted the kid who had the gun, and the boy pulled the gun out of his pocket, and the police shot him. And that was at my son's school.
Here we go. It says here they shot and injured a student who had pointed at law enforcement, and it looks like they didn't kill him. He was 17.
Okay, yep.
Now let me see here. See,
and that was in Waukesha, Wisconsin, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
Lockdown. So, okay, so I never give them the benefit of the doubt. So my first impression is probably fake, but at the same time, let's see here. Real things
okay,
do happen.
Does it have any credibility because my son was there? Like, this is what my boy told me. That they were locked down. They heard the gunshots, for one. He actually thought it was like, he said sometimes kids will run in the hallway and slam their books down really hard on the ground, which will kind of make like that popping sound, But it was close to his room where he was at, and he said, man, there was every cop in Waukesha County was at our high school that day.
See, that says drill. I'm sorry, but like when you've got every agency, you've got the helicopters, you've got the news there, when the streets are packed and they shut down the whole area, To me, that's very
That means drill.
drill.
The weird thing is that nobody. The weird thing I thought about it was that no one knew this boy that brought the gun to the school. You know.
Oh, that's big. The fact that nobody knew him is highly suggestive that it was entirely a drill.
My son says that he talks to the police officer who drawed on the kid and shot him. You know, he knows him from the school or whatever. The interesting thing is that 2 days later they gave the whole school cake. They gave the whole school cake, and I was like, they did what? And he was like, yeah, they served us all cake 2 days later. And I was like, huh. So I'm kind of following up with them to see if they're doing drills at the school and whatnot. But I would have normally said auto hoax, right?
Right.
But I know someone personally that was there. Now, of course, he didn't see anything. He just heard stuff.
Yeah, what I'd like to know is, does the school have an active shooter drill policy? Do they participate in that Alice training? And I mean, the fact that the kid rather, 17-year-old male, they didn't give his name. They didn't show us a picture of an angry kid with a bowl cut. So I'm leaning towards real, but
it was a black kid, according to my son.
yeah, that doesn't fit the usual profile. You don't have black school shooters, so I'm actually inclined to think this is probably real. If they can't exploit it for anything. I mean, where's the exploitation? Where's the cry for gun control? Where's the crisis actors? I don't see any of that, so I'm kind of thinking real more than anything.
Yeah. I'll tell you one that really blew my mind was, okay, so in Branson, Missouri in 2016, there was an incident with you know what the duck boats are?
What are duck boats? I thought they could swim.
Duck boats are like boats. They're like aquatic buses, basically. I think they used them in in World War I or World War II, and then they refashioned them to do like tourism, so they can go across lakes and whatnot.
Yeah, I went onto a duck boat in Santa Barbara once. So yeah, these are great.
Yeah, so there was a video of a boat that sank in Branson, Missouri, I think in 2017. And I remember when I showed it to all my friends, they were like, that's fake, that's fake. And it really blew my mind. But now that I think about it, I don't know. But here's the weird thing. There was a lady on the boat, and she lost 10 or 11 relatives. She was the only survivor, I believe, from all of her family that were on the boat. And this is the weird thing, is she had CNN came to the church where she lived, and they filmed the celebration of life for all of her relatives, and that did not make any sense to me whatsoever.
Right. Oh, I mean, look, there's this boat that crashed on Labor Day weekend where 33 people supposedly
killed the 33 people.
And I think that was fake. I think it was fake. It was purely symbolic. It was called the conception. I think it was it was a ritual more or less, but I don't think it was real. It is funny though. You know, it is funny how people will believe things from certain sources, and a lot of it's about whether or not it upsets expectations. So the reason why people find school shootings so believable is because we're inundated with this stuff in the media. And they don't see how implausible it actually is. So this one that you brought up, the fact that there weren't high casualties, there were no crisis actors, makes me think this was real. There's no drama attached to it.
Right, and like you said, like I didn't hear anything about it on the mass media. Not that I watch the news very often, but you know, I would definitely hear about a mass shooting. You know,
Every psyop becomes a national event where they personalize it so that everybody can react to it and all the politicians jump on it. And so if they're not politicized, they're usually real. There was a shooting where I live at a warehouse. I couldn't get any information, and I'm like, wait, usually the police are telling the whole story, and that's when it's fake. And so yeah, you're dealing with a real case. Did you happen to hear about I think it was in Indiana at an elementary school where part of the drill had the teachers being put outside and shot in the head with pellet guns?
Oh, no way.
Oh yeah, they got welts.
Why?
I'm like, okay,
I
that's
watched that video that you put up. What I don't know how long ago it was, but it was when they were having the kids, get into a corner and they were playing a game, right? You know what video I'm talking about?
oh yeah. The video was called "School Shooting Drills or State-Sponsored Terrorism," where toddlers and
That's right.
preschoolers they're having blanks fired with guns pointed at them, like which is to me is just out of control.
Unbelievable. Because if you have a child that goes to school and points their finger like a gun and goes bang bang, your child will get suspended for that. But they can run around and point firearms at the kids, and then, like you said in the video, it is terrorism. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's to
Definitely.
give them Stockholm syndrome. There's a viral story going around right now about how one of Bernie Sanders' guys said that they want to put Americans in re-education camps to denazify them. And so people say, "Oh, they got this plan to put us into camps." Well, no.
Yeah.
They already do it. It's called public schools. We already
Damn right.
it's a pure brainwashing operation to get people to give up their guns and give up their capitalism by the time they're graduation age.
Yeah, man, you're right, and it goes further than that too. Because I don't understand how people could actually. I don't understand how these kids are going to college. Because it's just as bad as public school now. You go to a college, it is. Those damn professors don't know. They don't know sense enough to get it outside out of the rain. They don't know anything about life.
Oh yeah, what do they say?
And
Those who can do, those who can't teach.
you can't teach. Yeah, exactly. I really thought that your breakdown on NASA was really brilliant, and SpaceX and all of that. I really thought that your last 3 or 4 videos you did were really incredible. So I appreciate the work that you do. I've been trying to promote your channel, so you can survive on D Live for now.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it very much, and I'm almost at 1,000 subs on D Live, and I've been kicked off YouTube so many times, and I'm finally building back that monetary support that the channel should have to make it work. So you can, because there's operational expenses, and yeah, finally about meeting those again. YouTube tried to purge a lot of people who are questioning MSM, so yeah, appreciate that.
That's right, man. Hey, and I got one more question since I just started following you. What do you think about Wolfgang Halbig?
Okay, I like Wolfgang Helbig. I think he's a nice guy, but he's either a dupe or he's a limited hangout operative. And the reason I say so is that he calls out Sandy Hook 24/7, but he said that Parkland was real. And the way I think the system works is if they can just focus on Sandy Hook to the exclusion of hundreds of others, people will miss the forest for the trees. They'll see the PSYOP, but not the Psy War. And so I think that Alex Jones and Helbig are hiding the Psy War.
Which is calling out all of it. I think, the interesting thing about these different shootings is that I had a buddy that went to Vegas. He bought the ticket the day after Vegas event, so I guess it would have been October 2nd last year, and he went out there, and none of the dealers would talk about it. None of them. And so I do think that that was a huge psyop. I don't know what happened at Vegas. I guess nobody died. I don't know, but it's pretty sad that they're able to pull this off with the American people. The media is so powerful.
It really is, and they're so powerful. They're so powerful that they actually place people among us to contaminate our conversations. So I'm calling the thing fake, but then you got these government agents saying, "Oh no, it was real, but it was done by ISIS." So they have these storylines to keep you from recognizing it. And the reason why Helbig or Alex Jones doesn't want you to know that these school shootings are all fake is they don't want you to know that because that gives away the role of the media. Right now, we're under the misapprehension that the media is reporting crimes, and sometimes the crimes are fake. And we're like, no, the media is
Everything
the production
is fake.
company. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy. I heard you talking earlier tonight about the 9/11 truth movement and how you were talking about how it got divided, and people are still trying to figure out to this day what happens. It happens every single year. Well, people will go over 9/11 and all the anomalies on the day, and when in all reality, it was a TV production pulled off by I guess CNN and the controllers.
Exactly. And when you find out it's a media production, then you find out that behind the scenes, the media on the left and the right and the alternative
Went along with it.
went along with, and it's international too, which shows you something else. So I kind of think that like 9/11 wasn't Muslims versus America or Jews versus America, whoever you say did it. 9/11 was the oligarchs against the masses. It was a mass trauma
Yeah.
event to get us to comply, and it worked. Look what we gave up.
It did work. It worked absolutely, and that's why I love the analogy you were talking about today about voting for people, the people in the caves and the shadows on the cave walls, and all these damn politicians, they are shadows. They are being controlled. And it's crazy that every 4 years people think that things are going to change in this country, and I guess things are getting progressively worse as we go.
Yeah, the allegory of the cave thing really holds true today. And the people who exit the theater are called haters. We're called conspiracy theorists. They call
Terrorists.
us terrorists now is a new one. Yep.
Yep, terrorists. I love it whenever you are talking about, okay, we got 37 domestic terrorists. Okay, it's time to go.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty funny, but I mean, unfortunately, I think that it's really the direction that we're headed. If you go against the mainstream media, if you question known liars, then you are crazy conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. I think Orwell said it. Truth sounds like hate to those who hate the truth, and they're trying to hide the truth.
Yep, and they've been doing it forever. What do you think about the mud flood? Did you ever do any investigation on that, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really fascinating, and my approach to it is, I don't think, I mean, there's a lot of people doing some great work, but I don't want to get lost in conjecture, so I want to do more on the ground stuff, and checking blueprints, consulting people who might be knowledgeable about certain structures. So I'm an administrator at mudflood.org, which is a forum that just started, and we have people in their own local areas posting pictures and any observations they made.
Buildings.
Yeah, because I want to get a timeline, and I want to figure out, can we get the blueprints or plans of all of the, we'll say, Masonic lodges built during, we'll say, 1890s or something. And I want to see if we can't draw some conclusions, because if there is anything to it, it happened at once.
Yeah, it had to have happened at once. It's really, it is bizarre that it has been right in front of our faces for a long time, and now it's like there is a mass consciousness of people just discovering the next lie after another, and all this history is being revealed. The problem is you really got to figure out, the maze is complicated on what's true and what's bullshit, So
yeah, I call it retro auto hoaxing. I mean, basically, if our mainstream news becomes history, because like the official version of 9/11 about planes hitting buildings and passports flying out, that's in the history books.
Yep.
That's being taught. You don't
forever.
You will not get A's in history class unless you go by the official CNN version, which is crap. But then you just extend that back a few hundred years, and I'm like, you know what? The oligarchs have always controlled media, always controlled the history.
That's right.
History is just a big pile of MSM, news media, day by day compiled.
History is his story. I thought it was really interesting. You were talking about the millions of books that YouTube has burnt, right? With all the video and all the content and all the comments. And I had a buddy that had not been on YouTube for 2 years now, really. And he got on YouTube yesterday and he called me and he's like, I can't believe how much it's changed. I'm like, I know, man, it's changed so much. It has changed so much. So it is really a shame what they've done. It is crazy. It is.
Oh,
The truth is, it's unbelievable.
well, yeah, they destroyed something great, and also what they did, I think, is they kind of showed their hand where they just don't want any organic, spontaneous culture that they don't control arising. They're just like, um, they let us have free reign long enough to get a beat on us, and then they started clamping down. And I think it was all planned, and a lot of it's predicated on fake shootings. It's one of the reasons I pay attention to these things. The fake shooting in New Zealand was used as a pretext to make it so that you can't even live stream on your phone unless you have 1,000 subs. So there you go. You just removed
That's right.
how many voices did they
How many
remove?
people? How many people? And they went after 8chan, like you said, and 4chan. But here is the sad thing about, like, whenever I first saw the video and I saw it that night, I thought it was real when I first saw it. And so I fell for another psyop, which really, I don't know. I guess I can't trust anything, but I wasn't an auto hoaxer at the time. I was skeptical, but the video looked real to me, but I don't know what actually shooting someone would look like. So I don't, you know what I mean?
Oh, I thought it was real. I thought it was real, and it was like I got a bad feeling. So I was like, wait. Now that they did a real one, all the fake ones can no longer be called fake because now they actually have it. And I thought it was real at first, my first 2 or 3 times watching it, and they made it really horrifying so you wouldn't want to watch it. Then they try to ban it. Luckily, a lot of people downloaded it, saved it, and spread it around as fast as we could. And it's the second video
Yeah.
that gives it away. But also, I mean, there were 3 drills that day describing what was going to happen.
There at the or just in New Zealand?
No, there. Well, no, you had 3 drills in New Zealand. One of them had to do with bombs being detonated at the train station, and of course they said there were
Yeah.
2 shooters. Each of their cars had IEDs, and then there was another drill where these police were in their battle garb, and their drill was preparing to run someone off the road and pull them out of the car and apprehend him. Well, that's how the guy was caught, and they even said. You can go look at this up on New Zealand News. It was an eerie coincidence that the police just happened to be doing a drill which would involve stopping a traveling vehicle, and they were able to stop him.
Do you remember the London bombings?
Yeah, the drill that
The
quote.
7/7.
Yeah, the one they said it was a drill, and that it went live because some of the people thought, "Hey, it's a drill," and now it's live. Yeah, that was something.
That was unbelievable. Do you know? I remember watching that day, and they straight up announced the drill that day, right after the bombings, right? And I remember, I think Giuliani was in London at the time, and I'm just like, they fucking did it again, They keep on getting away with this, and who knows? Who knows how many people died in that deal, That could have been a fake deal too. I don't know, but all of it is just, it's really bizarre, man.
Well, the more I looked at it, the more I'm convinced now that if there's a single crisis actor or a drill, it's all got to be fake. If there's one person dying, it changes from a legal act of propaganda into really a war crime and a crime tying a lot of people together. So, yeah, my view, the whole thing is definitely nobody
It's
dies.
all fake.
Yeah, it's all theater.
Nobody died, nobody cried. Yep. It's unbelievable, man. Well, hey, I think you're doing an awesome job. I'm glad that I found your channel, and I've learned a ton.
All right, hey, thanks for calling. I
So,
appreciate it. And yeah,
I
call
appreciate
anytime.
it, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thank you. So, yeah, brought up a number of interesting points. I'm looking here, and these coincidences are absurd. It really is. Okay, check this out. Tarrant police, we're talking about the Christchurch shooting. The church shooting in Texas at Church of Christ was in Tarrant County. So many parallels here. Now, if you look at the actual arrest of the shooter, there was a mosque shooting followed by another mosque shooting, and then he's driving and they pull him over. And so when you actually look at the footage of the arrest, there's a couple of things here. One, there was a known crisis actress who was a witness. So you had the witness to the guy getting arrested, and you could actually find her on a acting. You can find her acting reel. Okay, let's take a look. Christchurch shooter. I want to find the arrest video because the two police who did it. Here we go. Were taking part in a drill that day. Okay, early reports said multiple simultaneous attacks, but only a single suspect was later implicated. The car was rammed against a curb by the police before his arrest at gunpoint. Now, this is the arrest. I want to show you this. Cool Channel says, I have a photo of the Boston bombing where a group of agents are pretending to be caring for a victim. Yeah, please post them. Or post them over at our Discord server. I want to get some details on this. We actually have it on the BitChute video. We have all the drills and everything else involved with it. You can actually see the arrest here. And what you find out is that the police who rammed his car and arrested him in this video were actually doing a drill that day. And the drill was for this exact scenario. I mean, how much more obvious can it be that this entire thing was fake? And there they are, pulling him out of the car. They even said if they hadn't been already in uniform, they wouldn't have been able to have pulled him out of the car so fast. They wouldn't have been able to have made that apprehension if they weren't already drilling. So, how convenient. We should just have a police state. You know, because if everybody's armed and ready to go, if we're in a state of war, you know, we will never be surprised. I mean, that's just one of the 3 drills going on that day. So if you just got here, we're also suggesting that Alex Jones is wearing this hilarious costume at the Flat Earth Conference, and he gets on Jimmy Kimmel. Really a brilliant stunt if it's him. We're not 100%, we're really close. DJ Black says, keep an eye on Justin Bieber. They say in the MSM he has some form of terminal disease. I think they're going to fake his death because you called out The Weeknd. Man, don't blame me. Don't blame me for that. If they do that, which I don't think so. I think they're more likely, well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say. I mean, I think Cardi B's on the way out too. She said she wants to be a politician. Oh, we got a picture here. So this is Russian Vids who doesn't like the idea of Mad Mike going to space. Like, okay. Well, Russian Vids, for one thing, never shows his face. He's never actually introduced himself to anybody in person, so we don't know if he actually exists. All we know is he's behind the scenes, and I wonder why. Are you so afraid of us that you got to hide from us? What are you afraid of? Thirst for Truth says, hi, Ben. GK Game King says, do you have a good side-by-side of The Weeknd? You know what? I have to do something on this now that I think about it. Because I really do. But samebish.com, as it sounds, SAMEBISH. This one is true. Paul Zimmer was exposed as Troy Becker. Miley Cyrus, Alicia Curry, yeah, absolutely. Weekend, Justin Bieber, there's quite a lot. Now, we know this stuff what it sounds like. Like a lot of people know, oh yeah, of course Tupac died. Or of course he faked his death. Like they know the official stories. But he faked his death and he went to Cuba. Well, no, Tupac didn't fake his death. Tupac did not fake his death. The actor who played the role of Tupac has a new role because the character died on the story. It's not a fake death. The character did die. Like in movies, when somebody dies in a movie, it's not a fake death. It's a scripted death. It's part of a story. Same thing here. So this is just one other example. You know, many of these characters who have resurfaced, but more than just death fakers, yes, we have encountered a number of celebrities who are playing the same game. It's rather deep, but I think the way I'm going to approach this, I think I'm going to do a 3 or 4 hour breakdown of the deep fakes and death fakers in our midst, and I'll probably do it on Sunday. Last week we did a 4.5 hour piece on NASA, the space program, the iconography, the symbolism of Mystery Babylon, how they sold you on their ancient religion, how they convinced the atheists to fear God and believe in sin again. If you want to post that photo to the, what is it? The Boston bombing photo. You can go to twitch.com/infiniteplane, or you can go to D Live. You can post links here as well. Or you can just email it to me and I will get to it later. I do take all the email submissions and I do read them and I try to incorporate it. All right, so next week, Mad Mike's going to have American Idiot on to talk about Vegas. That should be interesting. Anyone who's Vegas strong should be suspect. I'll be back later. We'll be back tomorrow, actually. I just wanted to get on live and cover Mike's live stream. I wanted to call in. We have 141 domestic terrorists watching. You're probably all climate change denialists. What could it be? Really, why is this guy hiding? And I wouldn't even be concerned with this individual except that he's telling people not to follow Mad Mike. And this is what we've been saying for a while. The Flat Earth movement is a controlled movement. And the one guy with the way to go high enough to see what we need to see is being ignored. And the other group, stormantarctica.com, exploringagain.com, they are also being marginalized. So here's a link to Real Rocket Man. If you haven't seen the movie, if you want to watch the trailer, you can go check it out. If you haven't seen the movie, you're missing out. It is honestly the best documentary you'll ever see. Let me go and turn my ringer back on really quick. I think I just had a caller. Okay, go ahead and call back in. I had my ringer off. Infinite Plane Radio. Hey, what's up?
What's up, IPS? This can be.
Hey, what's up, Camby? What's going on your end right there? You sent me the last thing I think I got from you was that thing with Aisha Curry with the eyeliner or whatever that will make you twerk. Is that what it was?
Yeah. I guess she's promoting as Aisha Curry, the housewife. She's promoting some sort of mascara that will make your eyes twerk. So, and that wasn't just it though. I follow these people on my little stalker accounts on IG. You remember? So I just posted that video of Aisha Curry's feet along with Miley Cyrus's feet, and it's the same goddamn thing.
Yep.
So she came out like the same day and posted posted 3 pictures of her sitting down with her feet out as Aisha Curry.
Man.
and wait a minute. And it said, sitting here waiting as my braids finish drying. I'm like, why did you have to include your bare feet in this with the same nail polish too? That was directed at me. Okay. And I know I sound crazy, you guys, but they are absolutely reacting to us.
Wait, I wanted to get your take. I really wanted to get your take on this thing with Alex Jones. Do you think that's Alex playing the role of some fat old man in a costume clowning flat earthers?
So when I first saw that, I said, because the cadence of his speech, that's what the obvious giveaway to all this is, you guys. It's just the cadence, the rhythm of these people's voices. They're actors. They're going to try to disguise it any way they can, the best that they can, but the cadence always gives it away. And I think that is very possible. I'll do you guys a favor. I'll look into that like tonight, and I will have a verdict for you by the morning for sure. Because that so far that's Alex Jones to me so far.
Okay, because I'm going to do a Zoom conference, and I'm going to really carefully put everything together. I'm interested to see what you have because here's the thing. If we can prove this, and I think we can, we know Alex had a ticket, we know Alex knows Jake Bird, and there are a few other things about this that seem to fit, especially this whole the MC of the event who gave the mic to Jake Bird, Rick Hummer, actually deep fakes as this dumb redneck character. So to me, it kind of fits. And if we can expose this, you know how big this could get. Alex Jones dressing up as and acting the fool to get on Jimmy Kimmel. Like this is Andy Kaufman epic.
Yeah, it all is, isn't it? And I'll tell you right now, though, but really quick, I'm just going to touch on this. So the reason I called in was because I'm sure you've seen this, but I want you guys to all know that we figured out who DJ Newmark is of Jurassic 5. DJ Newmark is the DJ from the Beastie Boys named MCA. He had a fake death in 2012. Here he is today in Jurassic 5, you guys. It is 1,000% him. You're going to take a look at the eyes that give it away. What really gives it away, though, is there was a picture of MCA back in the day. I want to say probably 80s and 90s. He had a 5 o'clock shadow. And DJ Newmark, his beard today is in the exact same place. And it's the same lips. But the ultimate giveaway for DJ Newmark is going to be his hairy-ass orangutan arms. This fool has super hairy monkey arms, and so did MCA from Beastie Boys. It's him, 100%.
All right, I'm going to look into it. And I was talking about this on Sunday. I really do want to spend some time and put together a whole lot of comparisons and side by sides and explain how you arrive at these. Like you mentioned the hairline. And that was one of the things that made me give this character a double take is that Alex Jones's beard line is very unique. It's a signature. You can tell, I mean, the way it looks. And you compare it on this other individual, and it seems like it covers the same exact jawline, the same contour. So yeah, if you could look
Yeah.
into this one, let me know what you think because this is potentially explosive.
Yeah, I will. And when it comes to the beards and stuff, when they're putting on the masks, what I've noticed is that they have to play off of what the base actor already has. You know what I mean? So, and that goes along with the hairline as well. So it has to kind of follow around the same area, around the same, areas, just to make it look presentable, so it won't throw you off too much. But before I go, I want to send a link in the chat. If you could play this tonight, IPS, let me tell you, this was the most telling thing I have ever seen from Jurassic 5. It is a video from Cut Chemist, the last person who we don't know who. I've heard it's Kurt Cobain. I've heard it's a million people. I don't know who Cut Chemist is right now, you guys. But I'm going to put this link in the chat right now. I just want you to listen to it, listen to what they're saying. It's the most telling video I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, yeah, drop the link and I will play it in its entirety. And by the way, someone in the comments said that MCA was actually known to get in disguises all the time.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. There you go. So, yeah, please, I'm going to drop that right now. I'll be in the chats, you guys.
All right, hey,
have a good night.
Thank you for the call.
Cool.
All right, that's Cam B dropping some leads here, and he's going to put a link in the chat. And I'm interested to see what he thinks of when he examines this. There are 2 videos where you can find this character. All Gas, No Brakes, and Jimmy Kimmel. And right now, the present theory is that this character with a top hat is Alex Jones in an old man costume / fat suit playing the moron, playing the fool for Jimmy Kimmel. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's the same guy. Put a 2 in the chat if you think they're 2 different people. I'm just kind of curious to see if there's more 1s than 2s. If 97% of you agree, then it is so. At least that's the dominant logic today. What are we seeing here? Okay, so this is a video where he's morphing. Their faces are overlapping and morphing. Very interesting. Cut Chemist Metal Storm. Wow, that's a trip. You know, another good source, and this is what I plan to go over on Sunday. Like, I want to spend some time on this. On Sunday, I'm actually going to go through special effects. Chief Triton says 2. Frog King is a Bear 1. Strawberry Blind 1. Gordo's Garage, God of Jacob, X-Pac, Red Rooster Truther, Observer Jones, Cat Bunny Buffalo, MVP, and JT33 all say it's the same guy. Deboosted says no. X-Pac says same shill. Speedster 12 says 1, same person. Salty Siren, same bish. Mocking in Plain Sight. DJ Black, I don't know. I don't know is an acceptable answer. You always get an opt-out. Hey, what's up, caller? Hello? Try again. Now, the thing is, okay, so this is why we need to go deep into the actual technologies. So if you look into hyper-realistic masks, Infinite Plane Radio.
Hey, hello?
Hey, what's up, caller?
Hey, this is Loki School. What's up?
Hey, what's up? What are your thoughts on this Alex Jones? Is he deep faking as this guy with the hat and all that?
Yes. Hold on. Let me turn this off. Yeah, I can. I can't confirm 100%. It's hard for me to confirm 100% on most of these people, but the disguises, because of the disguises, they're meant to not look like the person. But I can definitely see that happening. The most important thing that points me to it is that Alex Jones, he's known to go do on-site, investigations and ask people, the serious questions. And that's probably what he was doing, just doing regular things that Alex Jones does, Billy Hicks does, is, go on site and mess around with people.
Yeah, he's a deep faker, and I think we caught him in the
Yeah.
act. He's a deep faker.
Yeah.
He's been doing this his whole
And
life.
people that listen to Alex Jones, they're familiar with Alex Jones doing similar type of stuff. So I can definitely see that happening. And the top hat is kind of foolish, and then the shirt with the Flat Earth Society is kind of foolish, so it doesn't seem like a real person.
Right, and of course, I've been looking at examples, and it seems like the females will wear wigs to cover the fake skin and the fake mask, and the men will wear these ridiculous hats. And I'm looking at that character's hat, and I'm going to look at it more closely, but that definitely does hide his skull shape. And so when I look at when he took his hat off, I'm like, looks very Alex Jones-like.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past it, man. They do some weird things out here, and I'm pretty sure it probably gets even more weird than the mask, but the masks are weird enough for me right now.
Yeah, exactly. One paradigm shock at a time, please.
Exactly.
Cool. What else is going on? Do you have a... In fact, let me go ahead and I'm going to cue your song, by the way, Auto Hoax. I see people asking questions like, hey, what's an auto hoaxer, which I think is great. I think that...
I got your auto hoax book, bro.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I'm gonna read it all the way through. I'm gonna let y'all know it's short, sweet, to the point. But that joke is dope, bro. It reminds me of kind of the Blue Docs a little bit. What Aaron Magruder did with his stuff. Are you familiar with that?
I don't know how he started. I've seen the finished product published, but no, how did he actually...
No, it just it reminds me of that because of the artistic quality that you add to it. It's almost I don't know how to explain it right now. I'll tell you later. But it's almost like you are kind of mocking the elite by making cartoons of this stuff, even though it's a very serious thing, But it's like what you're doing with this IPS stuff is like you're bringing an art to it that kind of makes it comical, which I really like.
Oh yeah,
And that's what I see in the handbook.
Yeah, and the auto hoax song hits that too at the end. It's great, and this idea of mocking them is good too. Did you see the cartoon of Greta Thunberg shooting up a Walmart?
Yeah. I definitely saw that. Yeah, that it was. Yeah, I don't have words for it, but it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's gonna be more of it, and I appreciate everyone who
Mhm.
contributes to this thing because there's a lot of creative
Mhm.
input that goes into this channel. So definitely
Yeah,
appreciate you all calling
definitely see
in and
that.
submitting music and everything else.
hmm And with the animation that I saw, I don't know if you want to talk about it here, but I noticed that the voice thing you used the automated voice for it.
Yeah, this was an automated computer voice. This was done by Symbia, but yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, we need to get a real live voice on that one.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I do want to get into longer piece animations, like 5, 10 minutes, and I would like to
Mhm.
have these actually narrated with voiceovers. And so, yeah, if you can do
Mhm.
voices, anyone can do voices, we'll just put out the call, we'll drop the script in Discord, and start producing
Mhm.
some stuff.
Well, I got a mic I record, so I could try to do a little recording and see if you like it. But I'm not a voice actor though.
Yeah, well, we do have. I mean, the other night we came up. Actually, MVP wrote the script for this one, where Greta comes by and she shoots up the Walmart. Brilliant plot. And so, yeah, there's gonna be more of this. I want to have something like this every week.
Yeah, yeah, that would definitely catch on. Man, it's very reminiscent of like Adult Swim type of humor.
Yeah, exactly. And I would like to bring that in
hmm
every day. I mean, we have so much. Our meme tech is unparalleled, and we've broken into
hmm
animation and music and everything. So it's just we're putting it all together. And yeah, this was like the work of a single evening, and Symbia synthesized it all. Just art from a lot of different people, and yeah, I'm sure it made some people cry.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna make some people cry. Some parents are gonna be like, "What are you watching?" But
Yep. Greta Thunberg shoots up a Walmart. I hope it goes viral. That's another thing. See, the auto hoaxers are being ignored. They like to put the flat earthers out in front because they can laugh at them. They don't want auto
Mhm.
hoaxers in the news, and we can make waves with viral videos they can't control. And the last thing they want to see is us laughing at their stupid movies.
yeah, they don't want that. They don't want us going to the AMC theater and letting everybody know that their mind is a warehouse for Hollywood. That takes all the fun out of it, right?
Exactly, exactly, and and the fact that we're laughing at their expense when we're supposed to be terrified, like we're supposed to be scared to go to Walmart because of bowl cuts, and no, this shows us just the opposite.
We're supposed to be scared to go into the next year because the world's supposed to end because of the asteroid,
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. They have,
or us killing the Earth.
yeah, they pretty much made it so that if you're not afraid, you're some type of a heretic, or you're not paying attention, or you're morally you're debased. But no, actually, this is the path that we're taking. I think 2020 is the year that either we make some headway or I don't know, they start sending people to Mars. Did you catch earlier when I was talking about the Chinese rocket going to Mars, what they named it?
No, what did they name? I didn't even know they had a rocket going to Mars. Like, it's a manned rocket.
Well, they're sending a probe first. They said they launched this rocket as a test. 33 minutes into the launch, they let a satellite out. But anyway, this rocket that China says is going to Mars this year is called the Long March. And the Long March is
Wow.
is what the communists called the subversion of America, turning us into communists. So I'm like, the long march through the institutions, turning capitalists into communists, and now you have the Chinese communists with their Martian plan, which is a communist plan, calling their rocket the Long March.
You want to know what another national tagline is that happened recently?
What's that?
The marathon goes on from some unknown rapper from the West Coast.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I yeah, unknown until after, and even Snoop Dogg said nobody knew him until after he died. Like that's one
Yeah.
way to. That's how they get introduced. This Nipsey
Yeah.
Hussle's his autobiography, or no, his biography, excuse me, his biography is coming out March 24th, which is the next astronomical Easter.
Yeah, this stuff is ridiculous, bro.
It's a cycle. It's
This
another
stuff,
lap, a lap on the marathon from the day he died until the day his book comes out. It's one astronomical Easter to the next. That's a lap in the marathon.
yeah, it's like this stuff is ridiculous. I say that because not because of what they're doing. I mean, honestly, I think what they're doing is ridiculous, like to live a life like that. But anyways, just apart from that, like saying this stuff is normal, but it's ridiculous to look at the dates. Just this that alone is ridiculous in itself. Like to think that it's just happening by random. Like for the average person, they're not going to really care. But if you show them the dates, they will definitely see that something is going on. But at the same time, they're still not going to care because they're going to be like, "What does that mean to me?" You know?
Yeah, and also the public memory is short. I was thinking about this, how Miles Mathis put out a piece suggesting that the reason why they changed from serial killers to mass shootings is that we don't have the attention span anymore. And I think that's why we have a new asteroid threatening us every month or every week. Because they can threaten us with doomsday tomorrow. We oversleep. Like, I thought World War III was last week. Didn't you notice that?
Exactly. Yes, that was like a week ago. It's already over.
Yeah, we just had World War III. I saw some headlines. We're going to war, bro. Oh, it's all going down. And then the next day,
Now
it's
it's
like,
all about the impeachment now.
yeah, Trump was like, oh, false alarm. It's all good. And then what about the 176 people? And then you look at that
Yeah.
176 people, and that's one of the fakest plane crashes I've seen, probably since Flight 93.
Yeah. Pick that up real quick.
Yep.
But they're probably going to bring it back, like, probably in the next weeks. They're going to try to bring something back to fuel the fire a little bit more.
I think that may be it, because I think they want people pointing fingers. They don't want anyone right in front. But I'm waiting for. I honestly, I have my fingers crossed that they take down the ISS. I hate to say it in those terms, but like, I mean, I hope they move to the next level because I think they'd be overplaying their hand.
Oh, yeah. And I think, they're probably a little overdoing that, probably because of you, because you're calling them out too much. They have to, pause and regroup and be like, wait a minute, we can't do this, because if we do this, then that'll give him more credit, So they're probably holding off to try to, I don't know, to figure something else out.
I kind of feared that. I was like, man, did Tim Truth and I, did we stop the nuking of Seattle on November 3rd? Because we would have been so vindicated.
I mean, you see how closely they're watching, right? I mean, they're responding, they're responding to Cam B and his little videos, and he has like 20 likes a video, 30 likes a video. So,
right.
You got a bigger audience than that.
Yeah, and exactly. And the audience that I have here is very carefully curated, if you think about it. Like, this isn't just a random selection of 130 people. These are people who are questioning the fundamentals, and we recognize, or most of us here do, about the nature of the media. That is beyond bias. We're talking about total psychodrama, psy-war on the American people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beyond what we can fathom right now, but it's exciting at the same time to like start to see it unravel, because since we have this site that we can see, like we can see the fake, we can see kind of what's going on. Of course, we don't know everything, but we can start to see it unravel as more and more people start to catch on. That'll help us, it'll help everybody out in the long run, because then it's going to have to start putting pressure, on these people to start telling the truth.
Exactly. And I think what they want most of all is they want a peaceful transition into this new economic system. They don't want to have to take your guns. They're just going to take 20 years to brainwash you to not like guns. And that's pretty much it. They don't want any sort of open resistance. And so right now, yeah, they have their eyes on those of us who can see, because we have to be in the minority. Most of the so-called truthers still have one foot in the matrix, and they're still going to vote for Trump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, even with, for example, Matt Paraland, like, I thought he was a real truther because he had helped me see the truth of flat Earth. I thought everybody else's shows. He seemed probably one of the realest to me at the time. But now that I see later that he's probably working with the people. I don't know if he's been compromised, but he's still talking about stuff that I feel like if you've been a flat earther for all these years and you started it, like you should be ahead of the curve, like Tim is. Like these people are here. Like what are you doing still? Still talking about politics.
Yeah, exactly. I've listened to his takedown of, or his breakdown of Parkland, and he basically said, "Oh, it's not a psyop. It's a real event. People did die." And when I saw that, I was like, "Wait, if you're," and he's also Vegas strong. So I don't care what somebody
Yeah,
thinks about the space program. If they still believe the mainstream history and the mainstream news, they're still lost.
yeah, yeah. So I'm very thankful to know that part because that helps weed out a lot of people.
Yeah, there are a lot of, I would say, false leaders or people who might even just be dupes, and I don't make a distinction. Like, what's the difference really between an agent
Yeah,
and a dupe? The dupe's not getting paid. That's the only difference.
correct, correct. And the only question that I had, I guess, going off of here is I wanted to ask a specific question about Mad Mike and the coverage that he's getting. So, it's we know it's the Science Channel that's going to broadcast this, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we were
Yeah.
there from the beginning, and okay. So first, the media ignored him, then they
Hmm.
misrepresented him, and then he went viral, and they couldn't control it. Then, of course, he does his launch, and then he went to the conference, and so this guy, I mean, he's been basically his own promotion this whole time, and finally he got a TV deal. And no, they're only there to film it. Like they're not leading him, they're not telling him what to do. And I was at the last launch site this summer, and the whole
Hmm.
the whole crew, they were all wearing NASA shirts and SpaceX shirts. Like they made it pretty clear to me what their stance is, and to them, I don't think it's really about that topic anyway. It's just about the stunt. And the show's got two other guys. It's got one guy who's taking a balloon, and another guy who's launching from the ground, but who's not going to be in it or something. But yeah, Homemade Astronauts is a TV show, but no, there's no. They don't have any control over him. He's literally a loose cannon.
Yeah, yeah, and I see that. I see, Mad Mike, he's doing his thing, and it basically seems like, I guess, a major network station just wanted to film him, right? So, if they just want to film him, have you guys talked to the people that want to film, or is it just ended there? And you just got, just gotta let them know when the date is so they can show up to film?
That's how it's been. So they've already shot 3 episodes. They were there for that last one, which it didn't launch because it had a problem with the boiler or something. But yeah, this next launch in February, they're just going to meet him out there, and he does his thing because they're not really responsible for any one of these 3 astronauts to actually make it on their own. They're kind of filming the process. So this Homemade Astronauts is it's probably going to be a really big show, to be honest with you, and I think so because of
Yeah,
it's a number of people are going to be interested in the space race, and Mike's kind of
yeah,
in the lead right now because he's got a viable plan to go in a manned craft 62 miles up and have it televised.
yeah. And we have to also remember that Science Channel is in the same realm as Discovery Channel, History Channel, you know, the Nova Science Now. It's in the same realm as all that stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what?
they're CIA controlled as far as I'm concerned. Like I think this
Yeah.
is a great Trojan horse, and I think that them not taking it seriously is the best thing that we can hope for.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause I'm like, what's the interest in them trying to film a guy that is distinctly trying to prove the flat Earth? Like, why would they have interest in that if they've been lying to us the whole time?
Well, I
So
also think too it's so compartmentalized that I don't think that there's even a millionth of a chance in any of their minds that they could be wrong. So to me, this is
okay.
also yeah. That's what I mean by Trojan horse. It's underestimated. It's a dark horse. No one sees it coming, and whatever he sees up there, he's not really going to be bothered if it's a big ball. But we're gonna get
Hey,
him.
make sure he takes his own camera. He's taking his own camera.
I think they said 14 cameras, various types. One up. We have
I'm
up,
talking about
down.
his own.
Yes, he's gonna have one in his own possession in the capsule. So,
Okay,
yeah,
like his own personal GoPro that nobody else touches.
yep, exactly. And also
Okay.
and it's like I said, televised. So 20 miles up takes a couple hours. So the viewers, let's say it has the number of viewers as the Red Bull jump or something. That's a lot of people looking at a horizon
Yeah.
that's not going to be distorted by a GoPro, which might be a better, more conclusive answer for people.
Yeah, because I wouldn't even try to use. I mean, just from my opinion, just looking at it, I wouldn't try to use Science Channel's footage at all. I don't. I mean, if they get good footage, I'll use it, but I wouldn't bank on it because they are a major network. You know, these major networks are controlled by a few group of people. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. We will see. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not even bothered by the idea of debating or whether people agree or not at this point. No, we're less than 9 months out from this thing going into fruition.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm definitely going to stay on top of that. You know, keep the tabs, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, every Wednesday I'm going to be at the same time to cover his program and see what he's going over, and then we'll update everybody as this goes by. And so I think he just said the third week of February. So a week after the third hoax anniversary of Parkland.
Cool.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the call,
exciting,
man.
man.
Hey, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it with your track. So, anything else you want to say?
Not for now, man. I just want to say, you know, speak penguin to die. You know, let all these flat earthers know. Let all these globe people know. Most people in the world think it's a globe, but you know that we need to get to an answer, and the answer is you go up into space, or you explore, go to Antarctica, go to the North Pole, see what's really up. You know, people say that the military is going to stop us. People say that all this is going to stop us, but I have to remind all of y'all that we are the people. We're like little ants, okay? When we all come together and we make a decision to do something, it gets done. It doesn't matter what it is. That's why they keep us compartmentalized. That's why they want to divide us. That's why they want us arguing with each other. Because when we get together and we speak one language, we build the Tower of Babel and we actually go to heaven. So I'm going to end with that.
Awesome, man. I hear sirens. Sounds like they're coming to pick you up for that. So, hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, dude.
See ya.
Peace.
All right, this is Auto Hoax by the caller who just called in. This is I'll put a link in the chat as well. And yeah, he's absolutely right. Speak penguin or die. The flat earth movement, if it's going to come to resolution, it goes deep, deep south, it goes really high up, or it dies.
CIA be lurking, I be in the turban. Little ones stay cursing, older ones out twerking. Talking about lack of education, streets are always dangerous. Bluetooth speakers playing, do you really hear what they saying? Do you know what that mean? Are you down for the team? They speak through signs and symbols, you can learn about these things. Live by 9/11, Club of 27. Once you think that they in heaven, nah bruh, it's a legend. It's all according to the code. I'm Illuminati with my mind, body, and my soul. That's why they snatching bodies, everybody in a Holly Grove. Deception is a hobby, switching roles with the auto clone. We call that an auto hoax.
Man, what you trying to prove? Don't you know we've been around the globe and been to the moon?
Get it, that's an auto hoax.
You tripping, times two. What about the shootings that they always cover on the news?
Real, that's an auto hoax.
They won't move, we will make the way. Let it spray, right reality like an AKA. Let them know we don't play. They live like life's a party, but it's really like a breakaway. Meditate, focus your attention on your better days. You know what I'm talking about. Don't let these slimy narcissists, antichrist out there turn your eye. Freedom of speech is actuality. That's why the truth must spread by word of mouth, It's all according to the code. Damn Illuminati with my mind, body, and my soul. That's why they snatching bodies, everybody in the Holly Grove. Deception is a hobby, switching roles with the auto clone. Let me turn on my auto hoax. Not even a proven fact. The floor curves into a spinning ball, and you can test for that.
Globe is an auto hoax.
Man, you must be trolling me. Scientific theories aren't what they are shown to be.
Yup, that's an auto hoax.
So what you're saying is you don't accept the claim that's missing proof, then you label it.
Exactly, it's an auto hoax.
Wow, sports are scripted by the number code, but do I really don't? Let me turn on my auto hoax. Squad. Turn on my auto hoax and look this stuff up when I get home. Cause boy, I tell you, these kids today is tripping. I ain't tripping, he must be tripping. Cause I am not tripping, not one little bit. I know my